This is a Dragon Blazer production.
And I am the little boogeyman.
All right. Coming down the aisle, your podcast tag team champions of the world,
Boomer
and Blaze.
Hello, podcast world, and welcome to another exciting edition of the Boomer and Blaze show. I am Boomer.
And I'm Blaze.
And what a week, what a bunch I got to talk about. But before we get to that, I just want to touch on this real quick because we can. It is Halloween time. Chucky's still killing it, by the way.
Killing it.
Chucky's still killing it. Probably the best thing this Halloween so far. Halloween kills.
Spoiler alert right now. All right, if you do not want to be spoiled on Halloween Ends, the new movie, go to 12 minutes and 46 seconds, and that is when we get back to talking about wrestling. We're going to talk about Halloween Kills.
A little bit.
I've also watched it.
Yeah, because I knew you watched it, so I thought, why not talk about it just a little?
So, yes, I'm aware that the fans are very divided on Halloween Kills. I liked it, though. I liked it better than... Ends.
You liked better than Kills.
Ends better than Kills because I didn't like Kills very much. I thought it was really silly and the whole entire town fighting Jason. I wasn't big on Kills at all. I
kind of liked it, but I guess because I don't know. I grew up with campy horror. I don't know. I thought it was kind of a throwback.
I enjoyed it. Only because I went to a theater where there was hardly anybody in the theater. And so me and the person I went with and the people that were there, we just decided to say, fuck it.
Fuck it.
And we started just telling jokes during the kills and during the movie.
You're a Mystery Science Theater into that shit.
Essentially,
exactly.
Yeah.
I mean,
we Mystery Science Theatered that shit. And because of that, it was a very fun and entertaining experience. But if I'm thinking of it as a movie, I mean, we don't watch Mystery Science Theater movies because they're good.
Right, exactly. You watch it for the buttons. I think I had problems with this movie for different reasons than the fans, though. Like, I get what he was trying to do. It was character driven. There was a deeper meaning. I kind of get that. They were kind of showing you how this affected the town. You know, it wasn't just about Michael Myers and Jamie Lee's character and everything, but the biggest problem I had immediately right away is the scene where this grown-ass man is getting beat up by a bunch of fucking 14-year-old teenagers or 16. Now that scene where he gets thrown off the bridge by even if you couldn't fight, he was like 3 times their size. He should have never got thrown off a bridge by a bunch of teenagers. I don't know. That kind of bothered me.
Okay, he was also being ganged up. So in real life, not in movies a lot of times, in real life, when you get ganged up and attacked by multiple people, it doesn't normally end well for you. Yeah. Even if you're a badass, and he wasn't a badass.
He wasn't, and maybe I was maybe I wasn't totally into it at that point. Maybe that's part of the reason I was just like, why are we doing this?
He was being ganged up, and I can definitely see... Because he also wasn't necessarily trying to fight.
No, he wasn't actually. I mean, that's part of it.
He was still timid.
I guess that was my concept of it, was that if he would have fought, he probably could have took those guys. But he wasn't fighting yet. No, I was waiting for him to snap, actually. I didn't think that was going to happen that way. I was just waiting for him to... He
wasn't trying to fight. He was still
It's true. That's a fair point.
Timid and everything. It's not until afterwards that he gets the rage and the... Yeah. And here's the thing. I understand why people don't like it. And I think a lot of that has to do with, there's a lot of people that love Michael Myers.
And there wasn't enough Michael for him.
There wasn't enough Michael for them. And I get that. I do. I really do get that. However, I was never a huge Michael Myers fan. My favorite killers are Freddy Krueger and Chucky. Those are my favorite. So Michael Myers is just, I enjoy it because I love horror. but it's not like he's been my horror icon.
I think the problem was, and I didn't hate it. I think what the problem was, like you said, from the fans' perspective, the director went a different way. Do you know who loved this movie and said it publicly was Stephen King?
Oh, yeah?
Because he went a different way, and he chose to do a character-driven version of this. He wanted to end his trilogy. And yeah, Michael Myers was living in a sewer. And yeah, he was fucking limping around because did you watch the last one? The whole town fucked him up. you know? And I was okay with all that. I think there was a deeper meaning to it, but for the hardcore fans, you know, first, it's not as bad as Halloween 3 that isn't a horrible movie.
I actually like Season of the Witch, but I'm also not a huge Michael Myers
if
fan.
It stands on its own. But it was a victim of, it should have never been called Halloween 3, you know. Back then, but that's also a different, trilogy. But yeah, I didn't totally hate it. It's just like you said, where's Michael and why isn't Michael the badass he was?
I didn't care about that. Number one, this had some brutal fucking kills.
First of all, the opening scene. Not the opening scene, but you know what I'm talking about, that first kill.
Oh my gosh, that was
Jesus. And then
heartbreaking.
And then what about when Laurie's talking about living in town and they're showing all these things that have happened since Michael's gone? Like the town's lost their mind. People are killing themselves. People are killing other people. They show someone hanging. Like, it's about what it did to the entire town. Well,
the whole story of this was Michael was an infection.
Yes.
That evil started spreading like a disease.
Exactly.
And that this kid, who not necessarily was a bad kid, he in a fit of anger, an accident happened. That's what it was. It's not like he went and kicked the kid off.
No.
He kicked the door, the kid was too close to the door, the kid fell back and died. So an accident happened, and
he became, and there's a line somewhere in the movie that mentions it. He became the monster because Michael was gone.
He became the
town
monster.
Needed.
In fairness, he killed a kid.
Yeah.
I mean, and not in fairness, it's not fair what happens to him, but he did kill a kid. And people are not, public opinion is not always, kind or fair.
It's not going to be good.
And essentially the town forced him to become what he became.
Yeah.
The town pushed him to this, and all it took was a little spark from seeing Michael and having Michael let him live.
Because Michael saw him.
Yeah.
And
saw the darkness inside him.
Hello, people. So this is where evil was like, hey, I'm going to need a new vessel because,
I looked at this like... I think the reason, so they've already said that they want to continue making Halloween.
Oh, Halloween's not going to stop now. Jamie Lee's done. Jamie Lee's trilogy,
done, and I believe the guy who played Michael.
Yeah,
is
the guy
also
that did
done.
it in this is also.
So I think the way they continue this is continue with this evil is an infection, and we stick with Haddonfield, but new people take over. As the new evil in town.
But that's what I got too. See, you understood it too. It was more about what it did to that entire... Like when Laurie comes out of the grocery store, I actually had an oh my god moment because the chick from Kills was still alive that took the damn bulb through the neck. Remember when he broke the kitchen light and he stabbed that black lady in the neck and she was out there? Remember the daughter started saying, how could you,
Oh, yeah.
Started bitching her out and the mom was there and she lived. I was like, how did she live?
Now, don't get me wrong. I am not saying that this is better than Chucky at all.
No.
I like the Black Phone better than this.
This trilogy, the first one was the best.
Agreed. And I agree with
trilogy.
that. I agree with that, but I did like this better than Kills. I thought this was a better movie in general, where Kills I mostly enjoyed because of the atmosphere I had. This I didn't have that atmosphere, and I didn't need that atmosphere because it was more story-driven. It was more... interesting to me. I can understand if you don't like it because you want Michael Myers and Halloween is Michael Myers. But if you look at this as a movie standpoint, I thought it was pretty good. That kill where he takes a frickin' flame or a torch to the guy's mouth. Holy
there's some good kills.
Shit.
That sells me right there. On
that was rough. All I can think about is how horrible that was to die.
Definitely could have been fun.
I mean,
for sure.
Horror movies all about having kills but that one didn't look fantastic. It looked realistic and so painfully sounding.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I don't want to, like I said, but I think out of everything I've watched, I watched the new Hellraiser on Hulu. I watched Jeepers Creepers Reborn just came out, and it was supposed to be a redo. They should have left that trilogy alone. It was disappointing. Like, everything's been... But Chucky's been killing it still.
Oh, Chucky's great.
Chucky. I did not hate Hellraiser. You should check it out if you're a fan.
I have not watched... I did not...
and I'm a big nerd, and I know that in the graphic novel there is a female Pinhead, so it did not bother me that Pinhead was a female in this.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that was
There's a graphic novel. I'm a nerd.
Oh, fair enough.
And
I've actually never watched Hellraiser.
You've
That's
never seen
one horror movie I've never actually seen.
They're pretty dark and kind of twisted. The old
I've
ones.
heard.
They're pretty, yeah.
I've heard they're essentially S&M the horror movie.
But Brad, Pinhead himself said that he thought that this version of Pinhead looked really good, and he had nothing but compliments. This director did one little thing different. In the old ones, they always had on like leather, basically looked like sex gear back in the
S&M.
day. Yes, it looked like S&M. This director twisted that, and it was all their flesh, so they looked dressed, but it was their own skin was peeled in all different directions to cover themselves.
Oh.
So they don't have any clothes on. It's just all stretched out flesh. It was kind of cool. But still, Chucky's the best thing out of all this so far.
Chucky's been awesome.
Chucky's
but Chucky's also on its second season. This isn't the first.
That's true. That's
know.
true. That's true.
And where the Pinhead is more of a reboot. Although the Halloween is the third one. But
yeah. It is in this trilogy. And like I said, you know it's going to keep going. And if someone else does it, they can either choose to, because there's so many timelines. They'll break it down for you. No, they're not all connected. This one was a direct sequel to the original Halloween. They consider Rob Zombie's standalone, those two.
Yeah.
Then there's another timeline with or H2O and all those. So if somebody does it, they're just going to be like, you know what? I want to do a Halloween. So here we go. It'll probably happen again. Will it be a while? But it's going to happen. They run out of ideas all the time. It's going to happen.
There's a part of me that wishes Michael Myers wasn't the killer that was attached to Halloween. Because it would be, to me, it would have been cool if, like, all the Halloweens was like Season of the Witch, where each one was a different story for Halloween. Like,
which I think that's what they were trying.
That was the original intention.
Is that what they were going to try? But because Season of the Witch didn't go so well without Michael.
Yeah.
And
Michael just got popular.
And then when Michael came back, they made a lot of crappy ones. So it's kind
of... the problem was that Michael Myers took off in the first one, so therefore, I think he didn't even want to do a sequel.
He had no plans on doing another one, no.
Yeah.
And then they did. And then he got pushed out of it.
See, I liked the idea of the Halloween movies being like an anthology and not a continuation.
Yeah. Kind of like an American Horror Story.
Yeah, where each one was different.
Yeah.
And like I said, if I remember right, it's been a while since I've seen Season of the Witch, but if I remember right, I liked that one.
Yeah, personally. I mean, it was totally different, but like I said, if you look at it as a standalone movie, because it's not tied into Halloween at all.
No,
don't talk about Michael or none of that. Like, so if you just watch it as a movie itself, it's actually pretty good old school,
horror.
Yeah, not a bad movie.
But so 12 minutes 58. So we're done with spoilers. Done with spoilers for Halloween?
Yes.
So
yes.
I will put a timestamp on this so anybody who doesn't want spoilers.
Oh, there you go. Yes. We're going to move on to what we do here. Yes.
Oh, yes. So I wanted to make sure that there was a timestamp. Yeah. We already warned you about spoilers. I may even, after while I edit it, I might put a quick disclaimer.
Yeah. If you don't want to hear this.
If you don't want to hear this, skip ahead to blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Is what I'll probably do.
Sounds good, yeah. We don't want to make anybody upset or anything. I just thought we'd touch on it,
give
our opinions, give our feed. As far as the wrestling world goes, there's a lot, but WWE's been in the news more than anything, but there's two things I missed last week, and I have to bring these up. I can't believe I forgot this. The first one I want to talk about is The Rock was doing an interview, because of course he's all over for Black Adam's getting ready to come out, so The Rock's doing a million interviews. And the woman interviewed him, looked at him and said, "Do you think Roman Reigns is the head of the table?" And The Rock's response was, without saying any names, "You're looking in the eyes of the head of the table right now." Tell me that's not great, right?
That's pretty great.
It's great. And of course, then she proceeded to ask about a WrestleMania match, and Rock would not confirm or deny it. He just talked about, well, of course I love WrestleMania, and I'd love to wrestle him, but I can't confirm or... Because as we all know, the scheduling is the biggest thing.
Right.
It's the plan, but The Rock does 35 million things. So
The Rock is, he's got Young Rock. He does all these movies,
and the biggest one that can tie it up is the movies, because anytime these guys are doing a movie, the insurance companies for the movies will not let them wrestle.
Well, yeah, because you don't want your huge star.
Do you remember when The Rock was at the One Mania and he beat Eric Rowan in like 5 seconds or whatever? he was filming a movie at that time. He come back.
So that was
once,
the agreement.
You can do it, but it's got to be a squash match, and you can't take any hits. But I thought that was a great line by Roman. But the greatest, or by Rock, but the greatest line that I forgot to bring up was on the DX reunion when the Bloodline were out there. Roman Reigns said, "We're here to celebrate the greatest faction ever in the history of wrestling, and DX is here." I don't know how I forgot to bring that up because that's gold right there. You cannot hate on that, right?
No, you cannot.
And I really do hope we get to see The Rock and Roman. It don't even have to be for the belts, whatever. I just want to see that match. I'm all for it. Like, sign me up now. You know what I'm saying? So let's talk about some AEW, like we always do, and we'll get that out of the way. I just want to touch on those. I'm going to start off with, I shared this on the page, I believe, but last night, Moxley and Hangman Adam Page were fighting for the world title, and Jon Moxley hit a lariat. Just a lariat. It looked like a normal lariat clothesline. Hangman flipped over and landed on his face, and then didn't fucking move. Hangman was stretchered out. The match ended 10 minutes early. And it's one of those things, like, if you watch it, like, he legit just hit him with a lariat. I don't know exactly what. So he was taken to the local hospital. Thankfully, I mean, it sucks, but thankfully it's a concussion. They didn't find anything else, but it was a scary moment. Like, they kept the show going because you have to. But
the show must go on.
He didn't move. Like, he didn't move.
That's scary.
He didn't even he wasn't even able to thumbs up before, they got him out.
Oh, yeah.
All the way. So there's another one down with a concussion. And speaking of that, have you heard the unfortunate rumors about Adam Cole, baby?
Baby?
Adam Cole may never wrestle again, are the rumors right now.
Oh.
You should see, I wish you could see the look on Blaze's face. Only if we had video. I love Adam Cole. They're saying, so he got injured back at Forbidden Door when they did the Japan, and he hasn't wrestled since, and they thought it was just a concussion, but now they're saying there could be some like serious
long-term
damage going on.
That's scary.
So it's not a definite, but yeah.
Yeah.
Which explains why he hasn't been around. Because, of course, Adam was not involved in the Punk fight. Adam wasn't involved in that, so I just hope he's okay. Like, I'd hate for him not to be able to wrestle again, but if it's a neurological, like, if they're like, look, if you wrestle and take one wrong bump, if that's the case, you got to quit. I hope it's not the case, but
I was hosting trivia last night, and they must have been showing like a replay of AEW on the TV.
Uh-oh.
And I saw this match with Jericho, and I'm not sure who the other guy was, but the dude, like, Jericho goes in for a
I know
handshake.
What you're talking about. Yeah,
handshake, and then the other guy's just like puts his hands down his pants and then flips them off.
Yeah, it was actually on Tuesday for some reason this week, so that happened. That was live.
Oh, that was live?
Yes.
Oh, I thought it was
that was Dynamite.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
And this is when Hangman got hurt. This was last night. They had to do it on Tuesday for some reason. So
I thought you were talking about last Wednesday.
No, this was last night, yeah. And the guy he was fighting was Dalton Castle.
I don't know.
He used to be in Ring of Honor, and that's the whole thing Jericho's doing right now. Like, he's going to beat every former Ring of Honor world champion ever. That's what the gimmick he's doing. So
gotcha.
That was a one-off. Dalton Castle hasn't signed with him or anything, but
okay.
That was hilarious because he reached down, he dug around in his drawers for a few minutes, and he was just like. But that's when this happened with Hangman, was last night too. I forgot to mention that. They had
I didn't
Dynamite.
know it was on Tuesday. Okay.
Yeah, it is on Wednesdays. Normally they had to have it on a Tuesday night for some reason. They got moved, whatever. I don't know. Sports. I don't know.
Might have been baseball.
Maybe.
Playoffs.
It is playoffs. So
playoffs right now.
So it was actually on last night, and that's when that happened. And that was a funny moment when Dalton Castle flipped Jericho off. Here's your
I'm guessing a baseball game is scheduled for tomorrow night. They probably played it. They probably played AEW after the Guardians game. Guardians played last night. Yeah. They lost, unfortunately. Guardians is out of the playoffs now.
Fucking Yankees,
Fuck
what can
those
you do?
Damn Yankees.
The
I'm
damn
telling
Yankees,
you what,
man. Aaron Judge. What do you do? What do you do?
It was a good run.
So I'm gonna say congratulations to Orange Cassidy. He won the All Atlantic Championship last week. But I saw something last night I didn't like. Maybe here we go. I'm the old guy. Okay, I'm old school. I get it that they're just. The championships are just what they are. They're belts, they're props, whatever. But Orange Cassidy doesn't wear his belt. And not only does he not wear his belt, he carried it to the ring in a fucking backpack.
I like that.
See, this guy's like, I love that.
Well,
I should because it fits his gimmick, but I'm like...
It fits his character. He's lazy. He's lazy. He doesn't want to wear that
He got in the ring,
belt.
and I think it was Tony Schiavone that said, as you know, Orange doesn't like to carry things. And he pulls the title out of the book bag, the backpack.
See, I get that, as a wrestling
I'm one of those
fan,
traditionalists.
but,
like, what are you doing?
But
it fits him.
It fits the character,
Yeah.
and I like when different people do.
Because I knew it as soon as he came out. I'm like, where's the title? And then I see he's carrying a backpack, and I'm like, did you really put the belt in the backpack?
Oh, it's great.
You did. You put the belt in the backpack.
Oh, he wins the title and he's so lazy he doesn't want to wear it. I love it.
Yeah.
I love Orange Cassidy.
He's
one of my favorites.
Like you could have had Trent carry it or something. I don't know. But yeah, he came out and it was in a backpack. It's whatever. It's
That's
fine.
great.
It's fine. Saraya also has been cleared officially.
Okay.
So the whole world doesn't have to question it. She got physical last week on Dynamite, which was great. So
She got
that
physical.
I'd like to see her get
with
physical.
Xavier Woods.
Oh, well, I was about to say I want to see her get physical, but I did. It was for research. She likes to play the trombone. And anyway, and so she is officially cleared. She is now, all elite and can fight and all that. So that's great. Good for her. And today, I shared this on our Facebook page. You should check that out. Breaking news today was we got the first fatality from the scrum. The first person has been fired.
Yeah, the Punk's guy, right?
Yeah, he was also a backstage producer, but yeah, Ace Steel was let go.
That's right.
So there's our first firing.
I think on something you shared, probably.
Yeah, it was probably on the page, because I keep you informed, people, I'm just saying. So that is our first firing from this, so we'll see what happens. That's the first thing we've heard about this at all. And by the way, they're saying that nothing's been said to the Bucks and Omega and Punk either. They're just all, no, they can't wrestle right now. They're still getting paid, so. What I found interesting, though, was Kenny Omega wasn't allowed to make an appearance at another promotion, which normally you can do, but I guess because he's suspended.
He's still
they're
suspended
not letting him,
other places.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
They're not letting him do anything else outside. So we play the waiting game. Do you realize that I'm not saying this is going to happen, but if Kenny Omega and the Bucks would leave, then everyone that helped start, literally, I'm not talking about there on the roster, but Cody, the Bucks, and Kenny Omega were the ones that helped Tony Khan. Like, literally helped him get AEW off the ground and create it. So if they leave, there'll be nobody left.
Right.
That helped, as far as helping create, there'll be nobody left. So it'll be interesting to see. And we know now that we are going to get MJF and Moxley at Full Gear. So the next pay-per-view, it's MJF's time, baby.
Time for him to win.
He's better than you.
Of course.
Of course.
I'm not arguing.
Of course he is.
He's MJF.
He is MJF. He is, and I'm excited. I think that's all I got for AEW. We got to talk about WWE again, because they just keep knocking everything out of the park. Vince has to be sitting at home right now going, gosh, God damn it. Did you see, normally I wouldn't be sharing stock news, but did you see how much their stocks went up since Triple H has taken over? They've went up.
Should have bought stock.
They've went up almost, yes, they've went up almost 50%. Up 50% since Triple H took over. Get in on that shit.
Right. Too expensive now, I bet.
I mean, the sad part is you could afford to buy it, but no one's selling their stock. Who's selling their WWE stock right now? It's only 75 or 100 a share. You could do that.
No.
That's how we get our show off the ground,
Is that what it is? That would be poetic if we started getting fundage because we actually got wrestling stock.
Right, wouldn't that be great? What's your success story? We got lucky. We bought some stock. You ever heard of the WWE? We got in on that.
Oh man, I wonder.
We could dream,
do you know
right?
what it was when Vince McMahon stepped down?
I should have kept all the numbers because I researched all this, but I didn't write them all down. No. Well, they said it went up 50% though in value, so
it was about 40.
half. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Triple H is making it take off, and we know why. I mean, the product's way better. I actually watched now. Of course,
I did. I watched
the real reason I watched.
I haven't watched Raw this week.
Yeah,
but I watched Raw. Well, the Hulu version. I watched the Hulu version. I don't really know where the best place for me to watch the full version is. So I watched the Hulu version, and I watched SmackDown. I watched SmackDown.
I'll be watching SmackDown every week.
My biggest disappointment is that Dexter Lumis wasn't on the Hulu version, and I was really excited to see some Dexter.
Yeah, he's been on a roll lately. Yeah, that's kind of a bummer. But we're going to get to SmackDown. I got some things to say about that too. But on another note you notice Randy Orton hasn't been around in a while. And he was dealing with some back issues, and now they're saying he may have to have surgery, and he could be out for like a significant amount of time, like a year or more if he has the surgery. So,
yeah, give him some time off. Randy's been around a long time.
He has. He needs a break,
and I think they're doing pretty good with who they have. So,
yeah, it's worked out. If you're a big
I'm not saying I don't like Randy Orton or anything.
No, but take your time and heal.
Yeah, heal.
And if you need the surgery,
I'd rather him stay
get
healthy.
the surgery.
Yeah,
do it now. They don't need you right now.
Don't push it. Don't push.
Not when they're not
I
depleted.
think wrestling's doing all right.
And I guarantee you, at some point in Randy Orton's career, he did that because a lot of them did it. Yeah. Not that Vince ever made him do it, but a lot of them felt back. Stone Cold said it all the time. They all felt like you couldn't take time off, and if you could fight through an injury, you had to because you didn't want to lose your spot. You didn't want to lose your spot. You didn't,
That's fair.
Don't got to do that now, though. Times have changed. Randy Orton will always have a spot.
Oh, yeah.
Randy could be out for 2 years, and they'll throw him right back.
Yeah, he'll be right back.
Yeah, so take your time.
And I mean, Matt Riddle's keeping him alive.
Yeah, exactly.
With RK Bro.
Something I'm finding really interesting, and I had to change my notes on this one, was we all know the Bullet Club is... Well, Bullet Club. Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows are back, the OC, whatever you want to say. Well, Carl Anderson currently holds a title in Japan. So right away I'm thinking, buddy, you're going to have to give that up. You're in the WWE now. You can't. They don't let you do that. But the rumor right now is he's going to defend the title, and the fucked up thing is he will have to... He's scheduled for Crown Jewel. There's a 6-man tag now. If he defends this title, he's going to have to wrestle in Japan and Saudi Arabia within a 24-hour span.
Wow.
Yeah. Like, it'll literally be the same day because of the time change, but it won't be, if that makes sense. Like,
I gotcha.
You know what I mean? Because of the way he travels, they'll take place the same day, but it won't be, it looks like they're going to let him wrestle. Like, he would be the first WWE star to wrestle on an IWGP pay-per-view.
Huh.
Because they've never let them, they don't let him do
It's
that
also
stuff.
Triple H now, so...
Yeah, and it is Triple H now. Because remember what I said about FTR? I'm like, you don't want to go there. They won't let you keep your belts. Maybe they will. By the way,
if they want you well enough.
On a side note, FTR's been on TV every week since Dax was like, "Hey, we still work for you. Book us."
All right.
So yeah, it's a good, interesting. I mean, it could be a good thing. Triple H is a little more open-minded. Why not?
Triple H is a wrestler.
Yes.
Triple H has done this and probably has a much different mindset than Vince McMahon, who never wrestled.
Well, yeah,
he was more of a businessman.
And I don't see Stephanie or Triple H or even Mr. Khan being like, "It's my way or the highway." It was Vince's way, and that's it. Vince didn't have any kind of, you want to work with us? Well, you gotta, like when he worked with Jim Cornette's little wrestling promotion. His Jim Cornette's guys had to be on Vince's show. You have to come.
Now I'm wondering, do you think now that Triple H is the running it, do you think guys will get to continue with their wrestling name and not, because Vince was really big on you
changing it or taking something away?
Yeah,
or,
you are not going to be them here, or either somebody coming in, or you got to change you're going to be just WWE, right. Or if someone leaves and it's you can't continue that name outside of WWE.
That'll have a lot.
Will that be different?
That'll have a lot to do with the trademarking. That's the biggest thing there,
right?
If the WWE owns it, they're not going to let you use it. Guys, though, a lot of guys today are smart enough to trademark their own stuff, but it still may open the door though because they've lost so many people because they weren't allowed to wrestle anywhere else or whatever. If you have some more flexibility, maybe you'll get some people back. But even the little things, like they took Austin Theory's name away and named him just Theory for a while.
Theory, yeah.
Triple H gave it back. He's like, no, he's Austin Theory.
Yeah,
so he's making
clearly
changes like that too.
But Triple H did not like the whole shortening everyone's name.
Speaking of not liking Austin Theory, Triple H may not, because there's also a rumor that the plans are he's going to put the Money in the Bank briefcase on the line in a match. So it looks like they may be taking the briefcase away from Austin Theory.
Really?
That's the rumors. I'm not a huge Austin Theory fan. I haven't seen enough of him, I guess, to be critical about him, but he's fine.
I
don't see him being...
I don't have a huge opinion either way.
Yeah, I haven't seen enough, I guess, to really, but that is the rumor, though, that they're going to put the briefcase on the line. We shall see. Monday Night Raw, JBL came back. It was good to see him. Did you get to see any of this?
I haven't watched I haven't watched this.
Spoiler, Blaze!
I think I actually heard that.
You heard about JBL and the man he brought back?
I did not hear about who he brought back.
Okay, well, JBL came in the ring, gave a great promo because JBL's...
JBL.
JBL. He's a manager now. So I guess I have to tie in the Ray thing. You saw how the segment where Ray told Triple H he was going to quit, and he moved him to SmackDown. So now Ray's officially on SmackDown. So JBL says, well, because Ray ran away or whatever, he was talking shit about Ray. He's like, well, since Ray ran away, I have the greatest accusation ever in the history of Monday Night Raw to replace him. May I introduce to you fucking Baron Corbin.
Corbin?
Listen, JBL, you're great, but putting you with Baron Corbin doesn't make me give two fucks about Baron Corbin. I think I'm burnt on him because you just keep changing him. I don't know. His gear was horrible. He coming out in this really horrible gear. A bad entrance song with dollar bills falling. You're not JBL. I'm hating on Corbin here, ain't I? Happy Corbin, broke Corbin. Nobody gives a fuck Corbin. Should probably be your gimmick.
Actually, no, I don't mind Corbin.
I don't either, but
I think Corbin,
it's the gimmick things.
Corbin,
the best version of Corbin was when he first came in. He was the lone wolf, Baron Corbin, when he first started.
Maybe they'll bring that back.
And they should have just left that alone.
Maybe they'll bring that.
I got all excited.
Bring that back.
I got all excited, and I thought, well, at least you're going to try to make yourself look like JBL or something. But the ring attire, I can't even explain it. I'll just have to look it up.
I'll have to check it out. I don't know. One thing I like about Corbin is we live in a day and age where heels are not able to be proper heels. Heels are loved. Most wrestling fans love a good heel. Baron Corbin is one of the few heels that always seems to get heat.
He does get heat.
The fans don't love him. The fans don't love him.
They love to hate him, but that's what you want. Yeah.
That's what you want out of the proper heel. Don't get me wrong, I'm guilty of this too because I love the heels as well.
Well, I love heels too.
I love the heels as well, and I
remember. Maybe I'm being unfair because I think there were too many times. Baron Corbin's good in the ring; he's fine, but Baron Corbin's not a main eventer. And I think there was a while there he was getting put against the champion all the time just so they could feed somebody to him. And maybe that's part of my disdain for him.
I don't know. Like I said, and I'm not saying I even like Baron Corbin. I'm just saying
but you like good heels, and so do I.
But I'm saying that in this day and age, he's one of the few heels that actually still gets heel heat.
And he did get booed right away too. So he got his heat instantly as soon as he came out.
One thing I love about the Judgment Day is they got legit heel heat.
So I can't
and everybody loves Judgment Day, I think.
I will give you that on Corbin, because he did get the heat right away. He still had on the hat that he was wearing when he was like Happy Corbin or whatever. So he comes out with that smirk look on his face and kind of grabs the hat and then just like, yeah, I'm a god, JBL.
He's just a good, and I'm not even saying he's a good heel. I'm saying that he's a good heel. Like he's a legit person that the fans don't.
We already know that the best heel in the business today, though, is MJF, and that's only because he is 100% fucking heel, and everybody eats it up.
Oh, but the fans love him.
Yeah,
I mean,
they do.
But I fucking love it.
But he still gets booed.
Like I said, I'm guilty of this too. I'm saying Baron Corbin is a dying breed.
Yeah,
he's an actual heel that gets heel heat. He gets booed,
and you do need people to get heat.
Nobody likes it. Nobody likes him, and that's what you want out of a good heel.
Is. What I'm interested about this pairing, though, is. Like they love JBL and they cheered for JBL. So how's it going to be like if they start coming out together? How's that dynamic going to work?
So what you do is you have Baron Corbin constantly disrespect JBL and eventually break him up. But but you have Baron Corbin continue being the heel that being the heel that he is, and you just have him disrespect a legend, and you'll keep that heel heat on him, and JBL will still be loved. And I don't want JBL to really turn face, but I mean, he's a great heel.
It's going to be interesting to see. Yeah. We had another return on Raw. Elias is back, and he's Elias.
I heard that.
Yeah.
I heard that
they almost immediately removed Ezekiel as soon as Vince stepped down. They removed him from the roster and everything. They had to wait this long so he could go.
I heard that he didn't really like Triple H didn't like Ezekiel.
Would you have liked Ezekiel?
I loved Ezekiel. I don't even. I was talking to Rage.
I don't know who you are anymore.
Rage wasn't a big fan of that, but I love the story. Like the him coming out and it just pissing off.
Well, yeah, I mean there were some good moments with him, but
when he first came out, I didn't like him because I was like, man, he's just like as generic comes. But then I started realizing, oh, that's the point. The point is he's just a generic wrestler that pisses off Kevin Owens.
When you love to see Kevin Owens.
And I love Kevin. The storyline. Now, I don't know if Ezekiel would have been able to continue on after the story with Kevin Owens. But I love that story. Like, what little bit we got was great. Kevin Owens doing a lie detector test. Kevin Owens, like, constantly pointing out, he's like, you're just Elias. and they played it off serious that he was.
They did.
And everybody pretended like, oh yeah, that's Ezekiel.
And that would almost work for him better. Like, I like Elias. The fans like Elias when he's out there running his mouth and singing. But a lot of times when he's wrestling, the fans just aren't into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As a character, they love him. Like, you put Elias out there with a guitar and a fucking microphone. They'll eat it up. But when he's in the ring, they don't always. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I think with Ezekiel, they were more entertained, but it was like you said, everything was so over the top and stupid. But it was supposed to be.
I disagree.
He was like the total opposite.
This is the one time that I kind of side with Vince and not Triple H. I really did like Ezekiel. I liked the story that was involved. I just found Kevin Owens hilarious. Ezekiel just playing it straight, like I'm not Elias. I'm Ezekiel. I'm Elias's brother.
I have family photos.
Yeah, and it was badly photoshopped.
And if anybody knows about bad photoshopping,
I'm fully aware. I like some good bad photoshopping,
which is intentional on this show. By the way, we like that. We enjoy that. Yeah, it was a good thing, and now it's over. So we'll see what happens with Ezekiel.
Right.
So before we go, I know we've been talking a while, but we have to talk about one more thing.
We're about 36 minutes in.
This
will be our longest intro.
Buckle back and listen. Well, we had our shortest episode last week, so they're fine.
Fair
they
enough.
Need an extra dose. Real quick, we got to talk about Bray.
Oh fuck yeah! We can't skip on the best part of wrestling.
First of all, his new music, for those that haven't heard or don't know, is called "Shattered" by the band Orange Code. I shared that on our page if you want to check out the new music. Don't know how I feel about that yet. We'll see. But Bray comes out with his lantern, but he's dressed normal, and then we get this speech, and I don't want to sound like I'm saying this negative at all, but I'm going back to like Bischoff and Cornette again. The bitter old guy club.
Yeah.
So they start trying to dog Bray's interview, and he shouldn't have broke blah, blah, blah. So what we saw Friday night was not fucking Wyndham Rotunda. It was Bray Wyatt developing his damn character. Was some of that stuff that really happened in his life? Yeah, but that wasn't fucking... He was still in character, but he wasn't. It was not a shoot. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that it didn't relate to his life. But Bray's speech in that ring was the development of the character. That's why later on we get the creepy voice and the mask and the guy. And I got that saved what's said at the end, but it wasn't a CM Punk speech. Oh, I missed you and I cried. Yeah, he said he was about to cry and he was nervous, but it was all part of developing the character.
I loved it,
and I ate it up. I mean, I loved it.
I loved it. I'm also really excited to see where they go from here.
Exactly. I just thought it was funny that in this day and age, Bischoff and Cornette believed like it was a legit shoot interview. And why is he out there crying? No, he's developing his character. They're taking us somewhere else.
Yeah, it sounds like he's going to have split personalities. I think that's where the Bray Wyatt 6 or the Wyatt 6 is coming. I think we're going to get the many faces of Bray.
And we shall see.
But yeah, no. Like, I loved what we got. While at the same time was like, oh man, I really wanted more. I wanted to know where we're going with Bray. So but at the same time I loved it. So it's kind of like, I want to see where, like we got the awesome entrance of Wyatt and we were all excited about like, what's this character going to be like? Or is it just the Fiend?
Going on?
What's going to do? We really didn't get much of that. We got this very interesting, but at the same time, I loved what we got.
Oh yeah!
But it just makes me excited for SmackDown because I really want to see. More. I want to see what we're. I'm now waiting 2 weeks since Extreme Rules to know what we're getting from Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, and they did. I know they have. I read that they trademarked Uncle Harper.
Yeah,
and Uncle Howdy, I believe is the other name they've trademarked so far. We'll see. There's all these rumors. Is the Wyatt 6, is it going to be just different versions of Bray? Is it going to be other people? Nothing's confirmed. There's too many rumors to know.
This is about as mysterious as the White Rabbit. Well, actually more mysterious because
it's great that
I think we all knew who the fucking White Rabbit was.
We did.
They tried to, but it was still so good. It was
great the way they did it. I didn't even care. I loved that moment that I was just waiting to see, like I told you on the show, like, if this isn't Bray, they're going to fucking riot. Like, that's, they had to do it. And they did this like AEW did with Punk. It was the same thing. You knew it was going to be Punk, but they tried to play it like it wasn't. Fuck you, Punk. But, I'm excited to get some more Bray. Let Bray be Bray. The guy's a genius.
I'm excited as well. I'm actually kind of surprised because what they did was much like not old school, and you were just complaining about a backpack of
true. But I got what they were doing, and I knew he was in character, but he was breaking character. I knew what was going on. Don't leave me alone about the belt, okay?
He was breaking character in character.
Yes, exactly. Listen, even back in the day, I had little things that bothered me like that. I don't know, I'm weird, okay? I didn't like it when they didn't wear their belt, and why? Why did that bother me? I don't know. The Rock always liked to carry it, remember? And he'd get up on the corner and kind of I don't know. I think you should wear your belt. I guess I'm a traditionalist more than an old school. That makes more sense.
I get what you're saying, but to me, I love that character.
But you I like them going with their personality.
I like going with their personality. So The Rock just carrying it makes sense. A heel giving it to his manager and having him display it because
Paul Heyman holding
I love all of that, all of that, and the fact that you told me
Orange just
makes me love Orange even more because it's so in character. He wasn't wearing a book bag to the ring ever, but he does now because he doesn't want to carry the fucking belt.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Orange Cassidy. Freshly squeezed.
Priceless.
All right, are we ready to start watching SummerSlam, or do you have any more?
I'll quit running my damn mouth now. No,
that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying.
No, we're ready.
I'm saying I'm ready to get into SummerSlam. I'm excited.
SummerSlam has to be better than WrestleMania.
I know some of the shit I'm getting. I'm excited about this. I'm getting Triple H.
This gets Triple H.
I get Triple H. I get Dwight Yankum. I've known Kane as Dwight Yankum for the longest time. I've never actually witnessed him as Dwight Yankum. Oh, yes,
we get the debut of Isaac Yankum,
I never have got to see him wrestle as Dwight Yankum, so I'm excited to see pre-Kane.
And I'm excited because we get some Sunny.
And Sunny! That's right. It just got a little sunnier in here.
It did. It's
not real life. Not real life. We got fucking snow yesterday, and I'm pissed.
Yeah, welcome to fucking Ohio. But SummerSlam, we're gonna feel the heat. That's a tagline too. Feel the heat.
And when I see Sunny, I feel the heat.
Do you know what Paige and Sunny have in common?
Oh gosh.
Sex tapes.
I didn't know that. Actually.
Except Sunny puts hers out there willingly.
On purpose.
Anyway, that was research.
All right, research. All right, let's get to SummerSlam 1995.
All right, before we even talk about it, here's a little fact for you that I didn't actually know until I was researching for this show, but this is the first SummerSlam to take place on a Sunday. How crazy is that?
Really?
Yes. From 88 through 94, SummerSlam was actually on Monday.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
And it was actually, obviously not in 88, but once Raw started, they would air SummerSlam to fill the void for when Raw didn't get there because of the fucking dog show. Remember those days?
I do remember those days. They would put the stupid dog show on instead of wrestling.
So SummerSlam was like a fill-in for that time period. I never realized they were on Monday either, but when you're a kid, you don't even think about it, I guess, so... But yeah, there's a little fact for you.
Wow.
So we start off with an opening package, and this opening package is actually talking about the matches we're going to have and a little bit of the story about why these matches are happening. So
I thought that was really cool.
I think that's the first time we've gotten something like that anyway.
Yeah.
It's usually some cheesy porn music and shots of whatever city they're in.
Then they also talk about the matches.
The matches, yeah, but they don't usually give you that.
Place, but not like a little story of why they're taking place or what happened beforehand.
Right, and we got that in this.
Which I always like.
Yeah, they were talking about Kama burning that chain down, and we get some Yankum later, so that was good. And the opening match, so our first match, we get Vince McMahon and Jerry, by the way, which I'm really glad Jerry's back on commentary. He's wrestled a couple times. I love Jerry.
I think he was on commentary in your house last week, too.
I think he might have been, too, yeah. But Jerry and Vince are always good together. And, of course, they're talking about the crowd that's there, blah, blah, blah. And then we get, I forgot about, Vince tells us that Dean Douglas is in the back and he is going to be critiquing the matches throughout the night. And the first thing this fucker does when they go to their back shot is he's scratching his nails across the chalkboard. Not cool. Not cool.
Not cool at all.
Like your WWE career. Not cool. And Shane Douglas, by the way, for those of you who know who that is, he was in WWE for a while. And he was called Dean Douglas. He was supposed to be a professor or something. He was trying to rip off the genius. You are not the genius, sir.
Yeah, no.
Not even close.
It's only one genius.
That's right. And our first match is the 1-2-3 Kid against Hakushi. But we have no Sinja. Sinja's gone.
No Shinja.
Sinja. Maybe he got stuck in Japan or something. His paperwork
I don't know.
No, he's actually gone already, but whatever. But what about this match?
I really like this match. This match was really good.
That's how you open up a pay-per-view. See? Like, I don't know why Hakushi didn't last longer other than he couldn't speak English, because this was a really good match.
You know how you fix that? You have yourself a manager.
Right.
Get a manager that speaks English.
Besides Sinja.
Not someone else that
Not
can't
someone
speak
else
English.
that can't speak. And look, I'm not trying to pick on Vince, but I am, and I'm just telling you, he's known for this. Like, he didn't if you couldn't speak good English...
Yeah,
Alberto Del Rio, Andre El Idolo, Rusev, all those guys. Like, he would book them in bad matches because they couldn't communicate well. Like,
yeah, but there's such talent.
you give them a mouthpiece.
You give him a mouthpiece.
You just give him a
what do you think a manager's for?
Exactly. Brock Lesnar's not the best talker. He's gotten better now that he's a face, I guess.
He has
but originally,
gotten better, but...
it was here, take Paul Heyman and just shut up. Okay, we just want you to beat people up.
Yeah, you're ridiculous.
'Cause you can't talk.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I do get it. Don't get me wrong. I had a problem with Jack Swagger when he was in WWE as well, because
that was the greatest Jack Swagger impression I've ever heard in my life.
it's like
Succotash.
This dude is like such a good wrestler and has a good look, but then he talks and he's like, I'm gonna take you out. Jack Swagger. And why is your name Jack Swagger? You are...
So sometimes Vince likes to rib people.
Oh.
Why'd you call the guy with the lisp
Swagger? Like, you picked the worst name for someone with that speech.
So because
Jack Swagger.
So because the AEW Jericho's like, hey, we're just gonna change it to Hager. That way it's an H and you don't have to worry about your... You can say Hager, right? Suffering succotash.
Well, he doesn't really talk as much.
He doesn't. He doesn't talk as much now. He's not always there, but he's still MMA fighting.
He's talented. He's really good.
Yeah,
but he's just was not good on the mat. His the way he talked did not match his skill set and his look.
Oh man, how did we get on Jack Swagger?
We were talking about
mouthpiece and all that stuff.
Who needed
people
managers.
That can't speak English because Vince doesn't like him. Because Hakushi had talent. 1-2-3 Kids always had talent. This was a really good match.
Oh my gosh,
really
so good.
Match. There were a lot of high spots, like and even the chin or the hand strikes. I guess Hakushi was doing. He was like just straight taking his hand and just go right into X-Pac's throat. I'm calling him X-Pac, whatever. And he was selling that shit. Sean Waltman was selling the hell out of those. Throat thrusts, I guess, is what you would call it.
Yeah.
And then he did the body splash in the corner, remember? And he got up in the air. He got a lot of air.
Oh, yeah. He
He almost did like what Vader used to do. Vader called it a Vader bomb, but he went like really high and came down crashing on the kid. And the kid hit a few good spots.
He did like a outside of the ring.
The backflip.
Like a backflip.
Yes. He flipped like Moody used to do the elbow and went right over the fucking top rope onto the kid. That was slick. And then Kid did a dive outside. And remember, it's 95. You see this every week now, but not then. You didn't see Mabel ain't diving out the fucking ring, I'll tell you that.
No.
Please don't. You would literally kill somebody. Literally.
Possibly himself.
Possibly. And the ending.
Oh my gosh.
It was badass. I just don't know if you call that a power bomb.
No, well, yeah, it was. It was, absolutely. 1-2-3 Kid bounces off the rope and tries to do a...
his roundhouse kick or whatever.
The Enziguri roundhouse kick, flying wheel kick or whatever. Hakushi catches him in midair and then directly, as soon as he catches him, slams him down for one of the best power bombs I've seen in a while.
And pretty much one-armed. Like, he really just pretty much
just one arm power bombed
better than any jackknife or powerbomb we've seen.
Yeah, well, they keep on facing the big guys with big guys, so they can't get them up. And I can only imagine what
we were
this
both
King
just
Mabel
damn.
jackknife's going to try.
And then it was over.
And I don't think that was Hakushi's finisher, because I mean, how do you make that happen unless he just has a powerbomb as his finisher?
Yeah, no, that's not his finisher. That was just a badass way to end that match.
And it was it fit, like, it was brutal. Dude, brutal finish.
A couple of those shots were like, see, Hakushi had a lot of talent, and then Vince fired him. And what's the poor guy supposed to do?
Well,
what do you do when you have all those tattoos on you?
All I could think about is this dude working retail or Burger King. Like, hello, welcome to Burger King. Can I take your order? Are you going to stab me? No. If you don't order wait, I said Burger King. I was about to say Big Mac. If you don't order a damn Whopper right now, I might.
Good thing we don't have sponsors for you to fuck up over there. It'd be great if he was at Starbucks. You want a frothy, wuthy, what?
I would like a pink dragon drink right now. Dragon fruit drink.
Chuck E. Cheese or something could be great too.
Yeah.
You thought the fucking mouse was scary. You got a Hakushi. Hakushi is serving you.
Mom's like, I don't think I want the kid to be a kid right now. Welcome to Toys R Us.
Like, we're watching this match and he started this shit. He's like, I can't help but sit here and think, man, is he like at Starbucks or Arby's now or something?
Like what the fuck is he doing now with all those? Because you mentioned
the tattoos
earlier, the tattoos were legit.
Yeah.
So like. It's like, where do you go from wrestling? Like, you're probably too old to be wrestling still. I mean, maybe. A lot of wrestlers still go in the late years, but
yeah.
But if you already got taken away from WWE, so like, where do you go from here? Are you working a 9-to-5 job? Like,
yeah. And I looked just to see what he's doing. I don't remember seeing him again. I assume he went right back to Japan after WWE, but he's now actually a promoter. He's president of a wrestling company now. So
in Japan,
so
he did go.
He's like, I'm going home. Fuck these Americans.
Yeah,
it's just like, fuck this. I don't know.
I have more talent than all of them. But...
And it shows you that even though he didn't speak the best English, if he couldn't communicate at all, he couldn't have a match like that. You know what I mean? The guy could still communicate. He communicated where it mattered. There's no way that match would have went that way if Hakushi couldn't communicate with.
It was such a good match.
So what if he couldn't do a promo? Maybe not put him with another guy.
Once again, have yourself. Did Mr. Fuji talk just fine? Throw Mr. Fuji on him?
And he's still around.
He could have been the biggest guy.
Why didn't you just put him in the camp like with Cornette and, Fuji and all them? Yeah, Yoko and all them. He could have been one of those guys in that little, love fest shit.
Yeah, you give him Jimmy Hart.
Maybe he was too ahead of his time. That's what I've heard people say before. Maybe Hakushi was too ahead of his time. The fans were into it.
Maybe he was really
even his...
impressive.
Because this entrance was more elaborate than last time we saw him, so it took a little longer, but fans still were into it. I'm not saying they were cheering, but when fans aren't into shit. You can hear a pin drop. It's quiet. They were ready for this. They wanted to see King.
And they booed like crazy when he won.
Yeah.
And despite the fact that was a hell of an end.
Badass.
Hell of an end.
That was.
Like, I legit understood why 1, 2, 3 Kid lost. That was brutal, that power bomb. I loved it.
Yeah. I mean, this was good. Here's how good this match was. I'll score first. I'll go ahead. I'm going to give this 4 Hakushi bombs.
Hakushi bombs.
I'm naming the unnamed move.
I'm giving this 4.5.
Oh, he's going
4.5.
It's the highest score ever on us.
Which is what Hakushi is selling.
I have your vente.
I got your vente.
You think Sinja's with him? Like selling the cookies and stuff? I don't know.
Don't
the curbside service. So there you go. We started off right away with a 4-star, 4.5-star.
This is the best match we've watched since we came back. Tell me I'm wrong.
I mean, that could be.
That's why I gave it a 4.5. The best match we've watched since we've came back.
It seriously was. Like, even though it wasn't 2 of the biggest stars, because 1, 2, 3 Kid, he was popular, but he was still new or whatever, but this is how you kick off a pay-per-view. Everybody was into it. They were way behind the Kid.
When you don't have big stars, you put on a great match. It's just as good.
You use wrestlers.
You don't need stars if 2 guys throw it all in the
I would rather watch this match again than watch fucking Mabel later.
That's like really lowering the bar.
I know.
Nobody wants to see Mabel later.
Oh, but we will.
But looking at this match, this card, we might have an even better match.
We might. That is possible. Not the main event. but we might get a better match.
We may have a better match.
Let's find out.
I don't know. We'll see.
Here we go. All right, before our next match, we get a backstage interview with Doc Hendricks and fucking Mabel, who let this guy talk.
Doc Hendricks, apparently.
I love, though, that every time they show Doc, he says, thank you. Thanks, Vinnie Mac. I like that. I don't know why, but it's great he called him Vinnie Mac. Mabel talked a bunch of crap and said he had a surprise for Diesel later, whatever. And then in our next match, we get our first look at Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
This man was a gentleman and a scholar.
That's right. A regal man from Connecticut that takes bows. Totally different, right? That was definitely not the game's music that we're used to, that we get later down the line. You know, yeah. And he took on Bob Sparkplug Holly, the racer.
Yeah. He likes NASCAR.
All of Alabama's rooting for you. That's what Jerry Lawler said. Jerry Lawler's great.
Yeah, that's the only state that likes NASCAR. Oh, I hate NASCAR.
Oh, see, he's about to get
They called that shit a sport.
Jerry
the King Lawler was right, damn it. All they do is sit their asses in a car.
And draft races. What kind of athletes would take to just sit in a car and drive for 500 miles?
Exactly. Oh, shit. We got another left turn.
You at least have to have a strong bladder, right?
Another left turn.
How the hell do you piss?
That's what the pit stop's for, is it not?
Did you forget your Pepsi bottle?
I'm assuming they got a catheter or some shit. I don't know.
Listen.
I've never thought of that.
It's what I've always thought about.
Time out, guys. Time out. I gotta pee.
It's like the dude in Talladega Nights when he's like, I needed a sandwich. You guys should have one of these. The driver's just eating. Like, I'll be back in a minute. I'm busy right now.
Or if they need to shit.
So, this was not a bad match at all. Bob Holly, I always thought, every Bob Holly match we've seen, he's got skills. It's just right now his character fucking blows. That's the problem. I mean,
because he's a NASCAR driver.
Yeah, and they legit, he legit drove their car, NASCAR too, I think.
Oh, did he?
I remember right. They did have a racing team, and they did have a car, and I think Bob Holly even drove it. I could be wrong, but
I'd say I'm impressed, but it's NASCAR.
But it's NASCAR. I only turn right, so I could never.
I would put a disclaimer here. It's like, the thoughts of rage or not rage.
Wow.
I'm fucking Blaze.
Fucking rage doesn't lighten up. He forgot which one he was. It's okay.
The opinions of Blaze is not the opinions of the show, but it is my show, so it is the opinions of...
It is. Look, he's a little off.
I put a disclaimer on, but... I'm sorry.
That.
I hate NASCAR.
Listen, if you want to watch it, more power to you. But
I can't believe it's called a sport. I cannot stand NASCAR.
I'd rather watch drag racing.
Yeah,
because at least it's actually a race. Like, are you really racing in NASCAR? Are you really? You're more like pacing yourself.
Yeah, you got to wait. Like,
you have to do like 720
or 30 laps before somebody finally passes anyone.
Yeah, I just...
we're on lap 462
if it was like full contact and shit, maybe I'd be more into it. Some of the dirt track racing could be fun to watch, but...
Yeah. The problem is the thing that you don't want to admit, the reason you like NASCAR is you want crashes. Well, that's just shitty of you.
That's just shitty of you.
But you're wrong, not wrong.
You're not wrong. There's just a little more
That exciting. Is the most interesting thing about NASCAR, and that's not good. That's why I like football. Because the most interesting thing about football, I like a good hit. I don't want to see someone wrecked. I want to see them wrecked as long as they're alive and not, Dale
Earnhardt?
Yeah.
What? It's not too soon.
I thought I'm the heel.
It's not too soon.
Jeez.
Look, I remember that like it was yesterday. See, I seen NASCAR before. I didn't watch it. That was one of those crazy things, too, that looked just like a...
We all heard about that.
Yeah, but I was actually watching it because my friends were watching it, and I'm like, wow, that didn't even look like a serious crash. It just looked like a... you never know.
Of course everybody heard about it. When literally one of the most popular NASCAR drivers dies doing the thing that they do. Yeah. I mean, you're going to hear about it. It's not like some random person crashed and died.
Dale
Earnhardt, who is arguably probably one of the most popular NASCAR drivers of all time.
Yeah.
Shit, right now I can't even tell you who the most popular NASCAR driver is right now.
Not now.
I have no clue.
Maybe Bubba Wallace?
Oh yeah, I suppose that's a person.
It is.
That's a person.
It's the only current driver I know.
Sure.
Well, listen,
is Jeff Gordon still around?
Jeff Gordon just retired, I think.
Did he?
Just retired. He was still racing. Yeah.
I'd say that's sad, but I don't care.
Who was the one guy, the Home Depot guy? Like he just retired too. I don't know.
The only time I liked NASCAR is when we had a Hooters car.
Yeah, but now look, see, and Alan Kawicki drove the Hooters car.
That's
Alan
right.
Kawicki died in a fucking plane crash.
Yeah, nobody heard about it because it wasn't a NASCAR. It wasn't doing what he does.
So there you go. But back to the match, right?
Right. Which was a good one. I'm sorry for breaking up.
Oh, hey, we do what we want on this fucking show.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And I forgot to mention this at the beginning, but a little behind the scenes, with us. Normally we have to do this late at night because we have real jobs and shit and adult schedules. So normally we're recording at night.
I'm tired of adulting. I want to be over
I'm telling you. And sometimes we're recording to 1 in the morning because we want to get the content out there. It happened to be our schedules today. I'm at the studio bright and early, baby. So we're doing daytime recording.
That's
and
very
Blaze is all fucked up over
That's
here.
very generous of you to call it a studio.
This is Dragon Blazer Studio as far as everyone's concerned.
Sure.
So anyway.
And not just my living room.
Gosh, kayfabe. It's a very nice studio. Don't let him lie to you. He's just a modest guy. Anyway, this was a good match. It was obviously this match. Bob Holly hit some good moves, but this was to showcase Triple H. He's still new. You heard him talk about it being undefeated. It was meant to showcase him, and it did. Dude, that Irish whip, I say it all the time, but this Irish whip into the corner, I think the ring might have moved.
That looked brutal.
And Holly came back halfway across the ring after he hit. I mean,
this is our first time seeing Triple H.
It is.
I'm sorry, Hunter Hearst.
Well, we saw him in the last pay-per-view as a lumberjack, but
this is our first getting to see him wrestle on a pay-per-view, and it had a cool way of getting to the pedigree too.
Yes.
He catches him and then
forces him to say, bitch, you were going down.
Yeah.
And he had did you notice a few little Flairisms? Like, Triple H really was always a Flair fan. Like, the knee drop he dropped in the match kind of reminded me of Flair. He did the cowering I talked about. Heels don't do it anymore. Flair was the man when it came to getting in the corner, timeout, and all that. He didn't really do the timeout too much, but he did.
He did do the, he goes in the corner and goes under the ropes like, whoa. Yeah. Hand out, being like, whoa. And then as he's coming back out, he punches him as the ref is trying to push the other Bob Holly off. So he had some good classic heel moves. I loved it.
Grabbed the rope when he was doing the abdominal stretch.
Triple H is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. So it was a delight to see him.
But if you didn't know what he was becoming,
I still think it was a decent
showing. Match, but would you have ever thought that was going to be the game? It's hard. You kind of got a blurred vision. It was a good match, but I thought he was kind of nerdy when he came in.
Really?
I guess it was the gimmick. I'm like, really, this guy? Look, you're talking to a guy, and we're almost there, that thought, when The Rock debuted, I thought, oh, this guy's fucked. And look at him now.
Wow.
But you're going to see when he debuts.
You may want to stop talking, because you're like the voice of wrestling here, and you're just showing that I really can't tell when talent's coming.
That's not true. It's just
now you gotta defend it. It's like, well, I just happened to totally whiff on two of the biggest wrestlers of all time. You're going to
see how cheesy Rock was. If you don't,
I know. I remember Rocky
Maivia. That would have never worked.
Rocky Maivia was pretty.
He would not have made it like that. And so I wasn't wrong misjudging it at first. I just thought if he's stuck with this.
I mean, that's fair. He gets a gimmick change. And
again, gimmicks that we talked
about. I guess if you say like when he becomes The Rock, and if you were trying to say that, oh, this is never going to work,
like that.
If you see someone go, and The Rock says, and you're like, no, that's dumb. That's really talking in the third person.
Same with Triple H.
What kind of idiot talks in the third person?
He would not be as big now as he became if he wouldn't have changed to the game. He could have been Hunter Hearst Helmsley for 30 years. You know what I mean? So it's a character thing.
You're probably
the person. It's
fairness, The Rock is The Rock.
Yes.
Triple H, the game is the game. Yeah. Here, this was a caricature.
Yes, exactly. We're going to see later with Isaac Yankem, like Glenn Jacobs, great wrestler, he would have never made it as a fucking dentist. You know what I mean? So it's not so much the talent as it is, the gimmicks I see right away, like, that's not going to work. This
And
guy can wrestle, but that's...
And you know this was just probably a matter of Vince McMahon being like, so what do you do? Yeah, I have some horses in Connecticut.
Yeah.
All right, you're going to be a hoity-toity rich guy.
And like I said, boy, he had... Right before he left WCW, he'd start doing that. I don't think he was on Rehearsed Temple. Maybe he was. I don't remember. He was terrorizing years ago in WCW. But he started doing this kind of gimmick like right before he left WCW. So they were probably just like, yeah, we'll just, you're from Connecticut, rich, whatever. Yeah, we'll stick with that. Whatever.
Oh, that's fair. I forgot you did mention that he...
It was more like an English style in WCW. They were trying to make him more like a royal, English type with a tag team and stuff. But he just kind of tweaked it a little when he came there. So, whatever.
I still liked him, though.
Yeah.
I still liked him. I agree that he probably wouldn't...
Just as
him
that...
changing to who he becomes is what kept him around, but...
And that really starts with DX, so we're not too far away from it, but him kind of going from this into the game is really, really blossoms.
Yeah, that's right. The game really doesn't come out until after DX.
Yeah. There's a point in time, but if we don't watch the Raws, we may not see a lot of it. But when Shawn and Triple H first start wrestling together as a team, they're forced to do it by Vince. They didn't even want to be partners at first. Like, this is the storyline that starts to develop.
I'm excited because I got into wrestling again because of DX, but I don't think I got to watch the forming of DX. So I am excited to see how they are at first.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I remember how they were at the beginning. So this will be
earlier,
exciting.
When it was just Triple H and Shawn and Rick Rude in China. Like, that's really the original.
Rick Rude was part of it? I don't even remember that. I didn't even know that.
But didn't wrestle, because at that time he couldn't. But he was still a deep part of DX. He was like their muscle or whatever. We'll see that.
They do not talk about that at all. I've watched some of the DX videos, and I don't remember seeing Rick Rude at all.
Because they weren't really this is early before they really took off. Before they got all raunchy and wild. And but when they originally formed, Rick Rude's there for a while. Yeah.
Wow.
So we'll see that too.
I'm excited.
Yeah. So we got to rate this as we're talking about DX and everything else. Still not a bad match. Like, 2 good matches so far. This was not as, I don't know, entertaining maybe, because they were high-flying in the last one, but still a good match.
I'd give this 3.5 bows.
Bows. Royal bows.
That's right.
I'm going to give it, 3 hip tosses over the top, because we forgot about that spot. That was a sweet spot.
That was cool. He was doing a abdominal stretch, and then Hunter manages to do a hip toss out of the abdominal stretch
over the top.
Tosses him over the ropes. That was a cool set. There was a lot of. I mean, this has been a good show. So 2 matches in, I'm liking it.
Yeah. We've both given good scores.
Way better than the last major pay-per-view.
We're only a half a point off on both matches so far.
Yeah,
so
the last major pay-per-view we had was WrestleMania, and it was terrible.
WrestleMania 11.
All right,
let's see what's next.
Let's see what's next. Yeah, exactly.
All right, so here's a real quick fact before we go to this next match that I know Blaze was really excited about. Originally, the tag team titles were supposed to be defended once at SummerSlam, but at this time, some of the undercard guys were complaining about their payoffs. So Vince decided, well, I'll just put some of these guys on the pay-per-view so they can get a bigger payout, and they'll shut up. So, instead of a tag team title match with Yoko and Owen, we get the Smoking Guns against the fucking Blue Brothers.
So I had to endure that shit just because they wanted pay?
Because people were crying about pay, and Vince is like, okay, I'm going to put shitty guys on pay-per-view so they get a bigger paycheck, because I'm sure I'm giving them a raise. On the bright side, they had blue on.
Right? It doesn't make them any less shitty.
So, the pay-per-view started off really good, but at some point, everybody needs popcorn and a bathroom break, so you throw this match out there. And,
instead of getting Owen.
Instead of getting Owen and Yoko defending the titles, we got this. The Smoking Guns are over and are pretty good, and you put them against these fucking guys.
Brothers.
It was... We like to be entertaining, folks. I don't know how to entertain you with this shit.
Well, they don't either.
No, they don't.
I mean, I guess the finish was all right.
Yeah, it was the Smoking Guns,
Yeah,
their leg drop, and that's the only replay they showed. I'm like, look, they're showing the only thing they can show in this match. Like, and the Blue Brothers are so awkward. Like, so the one hit Billy with like this really good looking big boot until he fucking fell down because he couldn't keep his balance. Like, it looked like a devastating boot, but when the guy that gives it goes, oh, and falls.
I'm sorry, but there's a reason why you don't get paid more.
Because you suck.
Sit down, shut up, and do your job. I'm sorry. I may not be the best person to tell you.
Should have been a squash match.
I may not be the best person to tell you this, but you know what? The audience wants to see good matches.
Fucking Owen Hart is on this
pay-per-view.
pay-per-view because you gave us this shit. Because they didn't like their pay. Well,
I
that's
cannot believe I'm not getting Owen Hart.
No, we don't get him on this one. I'm sorry. It was supposed to be right here.
Because the Blue Brothers want to be paid.
Because the Blue Brothers.
Don't suck.
Don't suck. Yeah.
Don't suck and you'll get paid.
Exactly. Tell Ezekiel to stay home and fucking... And the fact that these guys come back later, like, we're going to see these guys years from now. When we get up to, they come back to WWE, the Blue Brothers do. Different gimmick.
And you thought this was a good idea? Well, maybe the gimmick will be better. I don't know. But
they come back as the fucking Basham brothers, and they're bald instead of long hair. And I don't know if that really does anything.
Do they bash people?
Not really. They wear leather pants.
Nope.
Nope. Listen, we're just going to rate this thing because it is what it is. It was
1.5. I don't really give a shit. That's my rating. 1.5. I don't really give.
That
a
was
shit.
a really quick one too. He's like 1.5.
I only give him a 1. I only give him the 0.5 because of the famouser essentially off the top rope,
which was pretty cool.
Onto the back breaker. But
I'm gonna give it a 1.5. We want fucking Owen. 1.5. We want Owens.
Yeah, I don't really give a shit.
We want Owen.
There was nothing I gave a shit about in this match.
I just wanted it to be done. And
Move on.
Next.
I'm done.
Me too. All right, so before the next match, we get a backstage shot of X-Pac back there talking on the interwebs. Got to remember, it's still new here. They're like, yeah, look, X-Pac's on the interwebs, talking on the AOLs and stuff. So, yeah, and then our next match is Skip of the Body Donnas, which the good thing about that was we get 1995 Sunny.
Yes, we did. We definitely got some 1995 Sunny.
Don't Google modern day Sunny. Stick with 95 Sunny. It's fine. And he's facing Barry Horowitz. So here's the problem with this. It wasn't a bad match. It was all about the story, and if you weren't really watching back then, like, Barry Horowitz was a jobber, which we don't really have those guys anymore, but, when we were young, you would see the same couple guys lose all the time. Like, you had Barry Horowitz, you had the Brooklyn Brawler, you had Johnny Paradise. Barry Horowitz was one of these guys. And because he kept beating Skip all the time, Skip's like, well, I gotta have a match, God, whatever. Skip, for those who didn't know, is Chris Candido. And if you didn't watch ECW, you probably don't really know him either. But he was a big star with Sonny in ECW. And they came to the WWE and they gave him a gimmick of workout people, I guess, is what the gimmick was.
Yeah.
So the match was fine. Like, there were a few spots. Like, there was one spot where Skip could have ended it, and he pulled Horowitz up and was like, I'm not done with you yet. And then Horowitz started taking over, and he climbs to the top rope, and Sonny ball shotted him. Well, she took his legs out from underneath him, and his balls hit the corner. Got the old ball shot. Sonny was the best part of this match.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not gonna lie, I'll keep it real. We talked through most of it like we weren't even. It was fine wrestling. It was whatever. Like I said, it was all really about the stories. What it was. Horowitz was this underdog, lost matches all the time, and but then he gets this big moment. Hakushi comes out. I'm like, what the fuck's Hakushi here for?
Hakushi can be here anytime he wants.
He can be, but I forgot when they showed the recap that Barry Horowitz beat fucking Hakushi too because of Skip interfering and causing a distraction. So Hakushi comes out and he gets up on the ring apron and he jumps into the ring, but he jumps over Skip and Barry Horowitz, and that causes enough distraction that Barry Horowitz gets the victory. The roll-up pin, and everybody's cheering. I was pretty much just watching Sonny. I'm not gonna lie. We're gonna give it real, like whatever. It was okay, right? It wasn't horrible. It was fine. It's what it was.
It wasn't the blue match.
No, thank God.
No,
it was more entertaining than that. Because did I mention Sonny was there? It's like
You did. You mentioned Sonny
you know who
was there.
Sonny is, right? Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm hell yeah.
Yeah, he's like, hell yeah, I do. Though, by the way, more than once during the match, he was like, man, Sonny's looking a little rough these days.
Yeah,
He's not 1995 Sonny anymore.
Made the mistake of Googling her.
Yeah, and if you look at her now, the lesson here is that porn and drugs and jail time will do this to you.
It's a
Stay
hard
away,
knock
kid,
life for her. It's a hard knock life
in more than
for
one way.
her.
It was. Poor Sonny. We still love you, Sonny. You just look a little rough. But she does. If you're interested, she has an OnlyFans, if that's your thing. I don't know if you want to go see the other side of Sonny.
Unless that OnlyFans is her transporting to 1995 Sonny. I don't know if I want to see it. I'm good on that.
So apparently, I listen to other podcasts. I'm just going to go there because this match sucked and we need something for entertainment. Apparently, there's a famous adult video with Sonny, and she poots.
What?
She poo-poos?
That's what I thought you meant.
Yeah. she poops on it. Never seen it.
So it's a German Scheisse video.
Yes, it is.
Some shite.
Yes, there's some shite. Yeah. Maybe you want to check that out. I don't
No.
know. But I've heard about it more than once on Tony Schiavone's podcast.
I may be German, but I
want to stay away from the shites?
I want to stay away from the German shites. I'm good on the shites.
Maybe the kamikaze. Hakushi should take care of it since Vince calls him the
Was R. Kelly involved?
Oh, here we go again. I don't see nothing wrong.
I do. No, I see something wrong.
What, with the shites?
That wasn't bumping and grinding. There was something else going on there.
It was the shites.
Shite is not good lubricant.
I wouldn't recommend it.
No, unless it's some diarrhea. No. I regret it as soon as it came out of my mouth.
By the way, they don't sponsor us, but if you want, like, a Sonny Pooted's a real thing, you can get that shirt if you'd like. So,
nope.
It's just she pooted, but if you want to slide on over to Pro Wrestling Tees and check out the What Happened When shop, you can get a Sonny Pooted shirt.
Oh my gosh, no.
There's a little plug for you, Tony. I know you listen.
I threw up a little bit in my mouth there.
I did when I watched this match too, but it's fine. It wasn't.
This match wasn't that bad.
Not as the Blue Brothers.
No, not.
Why did I bring up
You're painting a way different picture. You're painting a way different picture.
I downloaded the wrong SummerSlam. This is the Peacock Network. It's the wrong. Shites. Let's just rank this so you don't throw up in your mouth and we can move on.
Yeah, sure.
I've ruined him. Listen, I think it was your fault. Should I talk about what we were talking about during this match? You're the one that brought up porn and adult stars.
No, you did.
I meant during the match, not now. During the match.
What happens when we're not recording doesn't always mean
I have to bring it up.
It can be like fucking Vegas, okay? We don't have to bring it up on the podcast.
She booted. Okay, we won't.
That wasn't brought up at all. Okay, I may have brought up the fact that she was a porn star. I didn't bring up the fact that she pooted.
No, I blame the other podcast I listen to.
God.
Or I would have never done it.
No.
It's that fucking Tony Schiavone and Conrad Thompson. It's their fault, just so you know.
I quit.
I might get kicked out of the studio. Where's the assistant? He needs a towel. Oh, we don't have one yet, do we? Sorry.
I need a paper bag is what I need.
Let's just rank this shit.
Oh, fuck.
Give it something.
I'm gonna rank this a 2. And two stories I will never ever get out of my fucking mind.
I'm not even apologizing. I give it 2 pats on the back because that's what Barry Horowitz did. If you didn't see it, that's what he.
Nice trying to divert
get out of
the attention. It's like I made a mistake. I may poo that interview.
Poo right. Just let's move on. What's next? Save me, SummerSlam. All right, so before the next match, we have to listen to Dean Douglas break down the Horowitz and Skip match, and he taught us all a new word. Did you enjoy your educational segment with Dean Douglas?
No, this dude was shit.
What's crazy is, but see, you didn't watch the other stuff.
It's like Sonny just shit him out.
Yeah. Shane Douglas, when he becomes Shane Douglas again, and he goes on to ECW, he is a good wrestler. This was a horrible gimmick.
Well, I'm not talking about his wrestling. We haven't seen him wrestling. He's just not he's not good at promos.
That was a bad promos.
Yeah, he's not good at talking.
So, then our next match, I forgot, and then we got Todd Pingo. Remember, that was funny too. Dean was like, back to you, Vince, and Todd's like, no, not back to Vince. You're coming to me. You're not going to Vince. And we got an interview from Sean, and I mean, come on, it was Sean.
It was Sean.
It was a great fucking interview.
Of course.
He's talking about the first ladder match and how he needs this win to prove he can do it.
Yeah, because he didn't need to defend his title.
Yeah, I don't need to defend my title. But I want to prove that I can win. I was part of history and I was on the wrong side of it. Talking about losing the first ladder match.
Oh, yeah. No.
Classic Sean.
Classic Sean.
Yeah.
Good promo, and I'm excited about this ladder match.
Yeah, me too. And I don't remember it all.
Hopefully we get to it soon, because right now we are getting some shit. I'm sorry, continue.
It's fine. Our next match was the WWF Women's Championship match, and it was Alundra Blaze against fucking Bertha Faye with Harvey Whippleman.
This match was not good.
Bertha was not that good.
Not that good. She was not good.
And they put the belt on her.
You don't have to say that.
This is when there was no women's division, in case you haven't noticed.
Oh, I noticed.
The champion right before Alundra was Bull Nakano,
Blaze seemed to do all right, but yeah, there's there was one time where Blaze is it's funny saying that.
Yeah, right? Not this Blaze, but Alundra Blaze.
Alundra Blaze comes back from the ropes, and the counter that Bertha does is just literally stand there, and Blaze just runs into her.
And falls, yeah,
and falls.
Yeah.
And then Blaze gets to the top rope 3 times, and every single time, Bertha Faye literally just gets up, walks directly towards her so she can do a drop kick on her.
Yeah.
Now the 3rd time she moves out of the way and dodges, but if you can call that dodging, she moves out of the way.
Yeah.
But she just literally, there was no believability, in this match. There was, she just set herself up for moves, and
yeah, it was rough.
There's a thing when you're wrestling, it is a show.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to make it believable that you're in the position to take the move. You don't just walk into position to make it.
She didn't even try to make it look. Yeah.
No.
She was just like, oh, yeah, I'm supposed to be over here. I forgot. I'm sorry.
Yeah, let me.
I was supposed to be
you're supposed to get that drop kick on me. Let me get right towards it.
Several awkward moves. Every time Alundra tried to do something, Bertha Faye didn't know what the fuck she was supposed to be doing.
Yeah, you need to maybe get up and then turn around, and right when you turn around, boom, drop kick. You're not seeing that it's coming.
Yeah.
But when you're facing directly at the person on top of the rope, I don't know if you realize that, but they have the ability to jump off and drop kick you.
Yeah.
You know that's a move can do.
God.
And you just
see why the women disappeared for a while, the women's that, by the way, is the title that gets thrown in the trash eventually in WCW. That's the famous women's championship.
Well, it just got thrown to the trash by putting it on Bertha Faye.
I mean, it kind of looked weird anyway, but we were talking about how light it had to have been because Alundra is holding that. Now, I own some belts, replica, but still, they're the real deal, and they're heavy. And she's holding this thing with one hand and just kind of waving it like a flag.
It felt there was no weight to it.
Yeah, no weight. They must have been
she was just holding it
on pleather, like a toy belt.
Yeah, it felt like a toy belt.
Yeah. So, unexpectedly, Bertha wins the match, and then we get an interview, and she said, I have this belt now to put around my slim waist. And that's when you can hear Vince in the background going, that's enough. Cut this interview. Your slim waist.
I'm sorry. You know what? There is a place for bigger women to play that like Andre the Giant, or there's a place for the smaller person facing David Goliath syndrome. But
it has
this
to be
woman was
what they were
not
doing.
good.
Yeah, like
at
Bertha
all.
was, you could tell she was still green. Like she should not have been in there with the Alundra Blaze.
She was either green or just not a good wrestler.
Which that's a possibility too. She could have just sucked. I was trying to be nice.
And maybe that's the problem, is because they didn't give a shit about the women's division.
They didn't, and they didn't have anybody.
And maybe
so
there wasn't any good trainers to Nobody wanted to train the women because we don't have a women's division. We don't give a crap.
And there weren't a
about
lot
that.
of women.
They weren't trying.
It's not like they could. Where were you going to get them from? WCW didn't even have a women's division. You know what I mean? Like there just wasn't a lot of women to pick from.
Fair enough, but
and we can see why.
I love where we are now with women's wrestling, but
yeah, because sometimes like the women even do better than the men.
Women are good enough that I would be down if like they decided to start a women's WWE or a woman's.
Speaking of that, how did I see you brought that up? And that's something else Triple H hinted at, is they may bring back Evolution. They only did it one time, the all women's pay per view.
Oh yeah, I wanted to watch that and I never got to.
Yeah, that only happened one time, and he's talking.
I'm looking forward to when we finally get to that in like 15 years.
It's totally different now. Like Charlotte Flair is one of the best wrestlers in WWE, male or female.
So is the man.
And Becky, I mean, it's a totally
Becky Lynch,
totally different world.
There's so many.
I don't mind the women being on top anymore, and now we've seen them do everything. Hell in the Cell and all that.
They've main evented this
WrestleMania.
Women wrestling is great now.
Yeah, it's
like I said, and the all women's pay per view is cool too. But if they did like a whole promotion of women, we have good women wrestlers now. That they could hold that. They could do that. I mean,
that's why.
Unfortunately, that's not what it was in 1995.
That's why I've always kind of wanted a mid-card title for the women now too. Like instead of having two world
they
champions,
need an intercontinental, like an equivalent of an intercontinental. Yeah, absolutely.
They need some more belts for sure. There's a lot of talent there. It's a whole other world, obviously. We're not even to the bra and panties yet. That's going to be better than this stuff.
Well, yeah,
this was bad.
I'm giving this a 0. Like, I thought this was absolutely terrible.
It was a bad
I'm not
match.
even giving it like a thing.
He doesn't even want to give it a score. And
I don't even want to give it a score. It's bad.
It was
bad. It was, and I feel bad giving it to that just because I don't think Alundra Blaze was bad.
Right.
She looked fine, but she had a terrible opponent.
I'm only because
Bertha.
Bertha was horrible. Only because of the spot where Harvey was on the rope and trying to distract, and then Alundra went and chased him out of the ring, and Harvey Whippleman fucking fell. You could tell it wasn't planned. Like he just fucking tripped and fell. So just because of that, I'm going to give it a half of a star.
I'm giving it 0. I'm giving it 0. I'm sorry, but this was absolute shit. And then not only was this absolute shit, you put the title on the absolute shit wrestler.
Yeah, that part I don't get either. And she had just won the title back not that long ago from Bull Nakano, and now she's losing it again to Bertha Faye.
And I think we saw Bull, and she wasn't as bad.
No, Bull, because Bull was actually she wasn't an established wrestler here, but she came from Japan and she knew what the fuck she was doing. She had been wrestling.
Bertha Faye was bad.
It was
terrible. She had horrible music. That didn't even sound like good entrance music. Like, they literally did not give a shit.
Sometimes I forget stuff, and I forgot to mention Barry Horowitz's music was kind of cool because it was 8-bit, just like video game music.
Oh, yeah.
Almost like it was Mario.
A Jewish ditty.
Oh, that's what it was, and I had to look it up. See, how did I forget this in the Barry Horowitz match? It was Hava Nakia or something like that.
Hava Nakia. We're probably...
Where's Adam Sandler when you need him?
Yeah.
But that was Barry Horowitz's entrance music, by the way.
Sorry if I've offended any Jewish people.
He's offended everybody tonight.
That.
Hava Nagila.
That wasn't me trying to offend the Jewish people. I mean, I enjoy hearing that song when I hear it.
Yeah, we just weren't sure.
I just don't know the words.
I didn't want to say it wrong. I'm over here like have something.
Yeah, I don't know the words because I'm not Jewish, so I don't know any. But it was cool 8-bit version of that song. Yeah, it was a cool 8-bit version of that song. But Tammy Faye, they just put some Bertha Faye,
whatever Faye it is.
I'm sorry, she doesn't deserve the respect to get the right name.
No, and you're not putting that belt around your fucking waist.
And they just gave her some generic country music shit, and then, in fairness, she was generic wrestler, and I cannot believe they put the title on her.
And then Alondra
did not deserve it.
So Alondra got the spelling entrance, like her name, which kind of like Sid has, but it looks like Alondra's came from Wish. Because it wasn't as, it was like the top one was just Christmas lights, and then they attached sparklers
see how much
to the blaze
respect
part.
they give these women wrestlers. So.
Yeah, so good stuff. Well,
no, this was a shit match.
It was.
I guess I see why there's not a women's division
at the moment.
If frickin' Bertha Faye is your top star.
Couldn't you have brought like Moolah back at this point? Or Mae Young, they were around somewhere. You could have been like, hey, need some help. Sonny could have wrestled. Me. I mean, in the match.
That brings on its own dangers there. You might not want that, Boomer.
You don't want to...
At any moment,
I know where we're going.
She might pull a squeaker on you.
Why did I go there?
All right, I'm done talking
Something's got to save us.
I'm talking about this. Let's get to the next match.
All right, so before the next match, we actually get another video package. We got another one for this feud. They showed us the feud between The Undertaker and Kama, and how Kama has burnt the urn down to a chain, dog. A very intense chain, by the way. So our next match is The Undertaker versus Kama in a casket match. Now this was some good stuff. Classic Taker. Kama didn't even do too bad. And I'm not a big Kama. I mean, I think he's better later on when he becomes the Godfather. But overall, yeah, not bad. I loved it how early on The Undertaker got Kama in the coffin and Ryder threw him on it. At first he just threw him on top of it and Kama immediately just scurries. Then the first time he gets thrown in, he's like, fuck this shit. And he crawls out of the casket.
He's like, fuck!
Really, really fast. Like, fuck this.
One thing I wanted to mention is I really liked the the camera view in the casket.
Yeah, we had a casket cam. The Summerslam casket cam. It was cool, though.
I thought that was kind of cool.
It was a good view. And they went back to it a few times. They showed us that the first time Kama was in there, and he just fucking like, fuck this. I'm not, no casket for me. And what about Paul Bearer in this match, huh?
Yeah, he was
talking about feisty little Paul Bearer.
Feisty Paul Bearer. I don't think I've ever really seen him.
Taker gets thrown out and Ted decides to get physical with him, and Paul Bearer rips the jacket off. Fans are going nuts. Paul Bearer rips the jacket off, like, oh, I'm gonna get you.
I'm gonna kick your ass!
And I get why they did it, because he's the face, but the refs were holding him back, and I'm like, what the fuck are you... It's a casket match.
Let him beat the shit out of him.
There's no rules. You can't tell him not to beat Ted DiBiase.
And not only that, was that the refs were just heels, because they were they were seeing $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase just kicking on the Undertaker, right. And they're like, no, you're not allowed to go interfere.
Yeah, you can't stop it.
Maybe
they were paid off. Paid off $1 Million Corp refs.
That makes sense.
Maybe.
That makes sense. That fits. That tracks.
That part kind of bothered me. I'm like, really? So Paul Bearer's not allowed to do it, but Ted can do whatever he wants. I see how this goes. He probably did pay him off.
That's simply because of money, 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 money.
There was this... Yeah.
Everybody's got the price.
Everybody does got a price. There was a spot on commentary when they were talking about anything can happen at SummerSlam, and Vince is like, yeah, Big Bertha just won the title, so anything can happen. Had to throw that in, why did she win, Vince? Who's booking this shit?
Right?
Just because this is why you're still, trying not to be the owner? That was you. We know the jig's up. The jig is up. The repeating chants of, Taker was so over. Taker should have never been a good guy, but it was just natural, and he was so over. They were literally chanting rest in peace. Very loudly. It was pretty great, and for some reason, Vince, for the 3 millionth time, had to mention the crowd.
Maybe maybe the crowd were just fans of murder. Rest in peace.
Maybe they were chanting the Bertha. I don't know. Maybe that's bad. Because you killed the women's division. Yep, I said it. I don't care. Then there's a spot where they Taker clothesline Kama over the top rope. They both end up in the coffin, and the lid shuts, so we can't see what's going on. And then Kama
patty cake.
There. Kama thinks he's I would have let one rip, you know what I mean? He had nowhere to go.
You would have hotboxed that.
Fuck, yeah, that's valid. There you go, Kama, take that. Kama tries to escape, and the Undertaker, of course, grabs him and doesn't let it happen. But that poor coffin. What did the coffin do, man? That coffin took a beating. Kama suplexed the Undertaker onto the fucking coffin. Literally suplexed him onto it. And then he was trying to do to pile drive the Undertaker on there, and I'm like, look, the refs are holding the coffin. in place because they don't want it to. But they literally split a top board. They ripped out part of the inside. I'm like, man, this coffin doesn't deserve this. Doesn't. Undertaker nailed a choke slam, and then the crowd just starts roaring, and you know what they wanted. They wanted the tombstone. You can't end up with a choke slam. We want the tombstone.
That's right, we do, and we got it.
And we got it, and it was a good tombstone.
We got what we wanted.
And then he rolled Kama's ass into that casket and ended it. It was a classic Undertaker casket. I'm shocked that the whole $1 Million Corporation didn't end up coming out there.
That is surprising.
None of them actually came out. Not one.
No?
Interesting. Maybe they didn't travel there, you know.
Ted DiBiase was doing fine on his own, I guess.
He's like, I got the refs in my pocket, and I got the gold chain. I don't need my $1 Million Corporation.
They didn't come out because they were afraid of feisty Paul Bearer.
Feisty Paul Bearer. Maybe they were.
He was using the power of the earth.
The power of the earth. But is King Kong Bundy afraid of Paul Bearer, though?
Huh?
Is King Kong Bundy really afraid of Paul Bearer, though?
King Kong Bundy?
He was $1 Million Corporation, King Kong Bundy, yeah. Tatanka.
Yeah, he has the power of the urn.
He has the power of the urn. I heard that they all tried to make it to the show, but Savio took their tires.
Actually, there was no urn, was there? That was
no. It's a necklace now.
It's a necklace on Kama.
There was a wreath, and they destroyed it. Remember that showed in the video package? They destroyed the dark side wreath, which is pretty. And then one of the creatures of the night tried to gather the wreath, and Kama kicked his ass. So it made it personal. That was something else. Too. Taker started off right away. Like, as soon as the hat and jacket was off, he fucking ran to the other side of the ring and just jumped on Kama.
Well, he fucked up with his urn.
And the wreath.
You don't fuck up the urn.
And the creature of the night, dark guy or whatever.
Yeah, nobody gives a shit about those.
He's just like, it's the urn. Fuck the rest of it. You melted my urn down.
You melted the urn down.
That was my power. How am I supposed to... I loved how they still played that too. You know, this is the old days when we were supposed to believe that, because Lawler's like, he can't do it without the power of the urn. How's he going to win without the urn? Well, he did. So suck it, Lawler.
Suck it.
Suck it. Overall, good match. Entertaining. You can't go wrong with Taker most of the time, unless it's Mabel or... Yeah. The other match with Kama. Kama wasn't that good in his other match. We watched Kama before this. We've seen
this was alright.
This one was better. You know. Except for the sleeper hold, but it didn't last too long. I love the spot, though, where he hit that. He had a power slam on Taker out of nowhere, and he tried to pin him, and the refs were like, yo, bro, what are you doing?
Yeah, no, this wasn't too bad. I'm giving it 3 glory hole cameras.
Whoa.
Glory hole coffin.
I'm glad you got the camera in there at the end, because I was like, what are we doing here? He's like, 3 glory holes.
Glory hole camera coffins.
Glory hole camera coffins. Yeah, I'll give this I'll give this match 3 gold chains.
Aww.
Dog.
Aww. All right, let's get to the next one.
Next. All right, so we get Vince and Jerry talking about Isaac Yankem DDS, and then we get a little package about the feud between Lawler and Brett. And Jerry Lawler's actually in the ring to introduce Isaac Yankem, who is in the future going to be known as Kane. Kane. This is actually Glenn Jacobs' first televised match. So, you know, he's only been on the videos so far. It's so weird to see these guys starting out. You know what I mean? Like, especially when you know, like, look, you can look at him and be like, that's definitely Kane. But you didn't know it way back then. I mean, he's not as big, but you can tell it's Kane. I mean, it's...
Right.
So here comes Isaac.
Well, now that you know what he looks like under the mask.
Under the mask. He was masked for years. Isaac Yankem comes out, and I swear right before he came out, I looked at Blaze and I said, I'm pretty sure his entrance music was just a fucking drill. And lo and behold, it's just a dentist drill the whole time going...
I mean, they had a...
He's got the dentist bag. He's got the little glasses on. I mean, he went full on dentist, huh? Kind of wasn't intimidating. This guy's like 300 pounds, but you're looking at him like, not really scary, dude. And your teeth are rotted.
I disagree.
You thought that was scary? Are you scared of the dentist? Is
yes,
that what it
I am.
is? Dentists are scary anyway?
Yes, I am.
Unless
Dentists
Britt
in general
Baker,
are
they're
just
scary
terrifying.
anyway. Yeah, no, it is what it is.
Britt Baker gives me a fear boner, so, you know, I mean...
Britt.
We're gonna,
a fear boner.
A fear boner, because I'm afraid of dentists. But, if I'm going to be scared of a dentist, she's definitely one I'm willing to give it a shot.
You know, if you had to have some oral surgery, why not Britt?
Exactly.
But anyway, and then Brett comes out, and of course the place goes fucking nuts because it's Brett. They show a couple of women in the audience like fanning themselves. You know, like, oh, Brett. So it wasn't too bad of a match, especially considering at this point Glenn Jacobs hasn't been wrestling that much. You know, he was in WCW for a little bit, and I already explained once before on the previous podcast that, you know, the ring's a little different. You have to adjust. But can you imagine? It's your first match in the WWF, your first televised match. It's a fucking pay-per-view. And you're fighting Bret the Hitman Hart.
And it's SummerSlam. And it's not just a pay-per-view.
It's one of the big four.
It's one of the big four.
No pressure. No pressure. You'll be fine.
None at all.
None at all. And overall, it was pretty good. Like it's
a decent match.
There were some good moves, and the only one I really saw that he kind of botched is Bret was draped over the rope, and Isaac went up top and tried to do a leg drop off the top onto Bret. And Bret sold it, but you could clearly tell he kind of missed. He didn't really hit the leg drop, but it ended up looking good. I mean, he came out okay. And, of course, your buddy had to get involved in the match, too.
My buddy?
Your buddy Jerry. Yeah. Buddy Jerry Lawler. He didn't want his dentist to lose, you know. He couldn't live it with himself if his dentist lost. I didn't remember this match either, and I'm thinking, what are they going to do here? Because don't you kind of bury a guy if it's his first match and he loses?
No, they didn't do that at all.
They didn't do that at all. They did something.
They had Bret Hart technically win, but...
Yeah, technically, so... What about, like, Isaac did this, I gotta mention this move before I forget. Isaac Yankem did, like, this fucking, it wasn't really a torture rack. He had Bret like, by the neck and flipped him up over his back and was just wrenching him. It was kind of like a different type of torture rack. It looked fucking painful.
It did.
That move got my attention, for sure. And then we get to the part where Bret has the sharpshooter on. You think he's going to win the match. Here comes Lawler to break it up. Up there, causing the distraction. And the match keeps going. Oh, here we go.
Lawler
was what? This guy.
That's his prize dentist. I mean, he has to make sure he's doing okay. You gotta understand. Like, do you want your dentist injured? Someone who's taking care of you and your beautiful teeth.
If it's Brit, I don't want her injured now. But I get it. He had to make sure his hands were okay. You know,
he's protecting his investment. You got to give him some slack.
Normally I'd be really mad at Lawler, but I can't be mad because fuck, Bret literally hog-tied Isaac Yankem to the fucking post.
Yeah, he did.
I thought he was going to ball shot him. Nope, he literally hog-tied.
Nope. So he
just
started kick him in the face,
stomping on his fucking face. So then Lawler tries to come in the ring, and of course the ref's untying Yankem. And Bret turns around and sees him, and Lawler's trying to scare you away, and Bret just grabs him like, nope, you wanted in the ring, buddy. You're going to get you some Hitman.
Yeah, and I kept on expecting them to pull the Isaac Yankem tries to attack Bret, and then Bret ducks and then hits Lawler.
Right.
Never
like
happened.
That. It never happened. No. And
he managed to stop Bret from attacking Lawler every time.
He did. They were fighting a little bit on the outside, and Isaac Yankem fucking went up top, and I thought he was going to... I should have known better. I'm like, is he going to body dive on him? Fuck no, he's not. It's Kane. He double axe handled Bret, but come on, that would have been a badass visual if he would have just...
Right.
Went forward and dove.
It technically
took them both out.
Wouldn't have been a good idea on his part because he would have also taken out Jerry the King Lawler
he would have.
while he did that.
It looked kind of like a painful double axe handle, though. He landed right on directly on his feet, like standing straight up. It probably hurt a little bit.
Right.
I mean, it had to have. And then we get to the end of the match where I'm trying to remember exactly how this went down. Lawler was interfering. Isaac had Bret's head over the ropes, and Lawler literally starts pulling his hair, and the ref's watching, and me and Blaze are both like, the fuck what are we doing here? Like, the bell didn't ring right away. It was a little...
Well, normally I would be doing my heel 101 right here.
Right.
However, I don't think Lawler cared whether they won or not.
He didn't. And not only that, if you got the refs in your pocket to where you don't get disqualified right away.
Well, he did get disqualified.
They did.
They got disqualified.
But it was just weird because the bell didn't ring
Lawler didn't care. It was just about hurting Bret.
It was. They didn't really ring the bell until right before Bret's head got tied into the rope.
Yeah.
And then they just started pounding his ass, and that's when the bell finally rang in the match was over.
That looked like it would suck.
It would, and you can only so long, that's why they put their hands there. You can see they put their hands there, but me and you have been in a ring. We know what those ropes are like. And I couldn't imagine being tied up like, even with your hands there to keep the pressure off, it's a lot.
Well, technically, while they were pulling them, it probably helped alleviate
you have to help
pressure.
You have to help hold them up a little bit and make it look like you're not, because, that could be all bad.
Yeah, they made it look like they were pulling them, so it was giving more pressure, but that probably was actually alleviating it. and making it easier for Brett to
Probably,
handle
but
it.
hands down to Brett because they tied him out of there. And they were showing him up close. And how long did that man go without blinking? How the hell do you do that? Maybe it wasn't as long as it looked like, but they were trying to sell that Brett was hurt. And they were right on Brett's face, and he wasn't blinking. I don't know how he went that long without blinking. That's pretty good. It's selling, I guess. But.
Yeah, they really sold it, and they had the everyone come out to help him up, and
and
he got all pissy.
They were like, we may have to stretcher him out, right? So one of your top stars is seriously hurt, and then you're like, we may have to stretcher him. We'll be right back, and you cut to a fucking promo for your next pay-per-view, which is in your house, and then they come back, and all of a sudden Brett's back up, and they try to help, and he's like, "Fuck you, bitches! I'm Bret Hart."
In a way, I kind of like the idea of the in your house promo that they did. Except for like none of the actual stars showed up for it. You got your top stars were the Smoking Guns.
Smoking Guns were featured in it. What do you mean? They're like the hottest acts. The Blue Brothers should have been in there too.
They probably were, and I just did not know. I don't think I could pull.
Did you miss the biggest star in the In Your House trailer? Because it was Mr. Backlund, sir. Just when you thought you were done.
Can we go back to talking about Sonny pooping? Because that sounds less disgusting than you bringing up Bob fucking Backlund.
Wow, that's a hatred right there. You'd rather talk about Sonny's accident.
I fucking don't like Bob Backlund. Bob Backlund.
But he's running for president. What's great is he's going to leave, and then it's going to be a while before we get to modern wrestling, so you're going to forget about Bob Backlund, and he's going to show back up with Darius. What was that guy's name? Young? Darren Young. And Make Darren Young great again. That was about 2016 or something that he came back, so... You got that look for
it would be Bob Backlund using that shit.
So overall, not a bad match. I was kind of impressed. I mean, we know he's Kane now, but back then he was still a rookie, and he did well, because that's a lot of pressure. I don't care. Even if you've been in the business
luckily, he had Bret Hart working with him, and Bret Hart's good.
Still got to be a little intimidating, because you're in there with one of the best. One SummerSlam. Pretty high up in the card. There's only 2 matches left, right?
Oh my gosh, next is...
Yeah, because next is HBK, baby. We're about to get
excited.
We're about to get some good stuff right there.
All right, well let's rank this and get
to
that good match.
This. Not bad. I'm gonna give it a 2.5 blinks of the eye.
Blinks of the eye. I'm just gonna give this 2.5 Drill Bit Taylors.
Drill Bit Taylor, baby. I've seen that movie more times than I can admit, but kids loved that.
I think I saw that movie once.
Really?
Does it even have anything to do with the dentist? I just
no, it doesn't. But that was a good you threw it out of there.
The drill part.
The Drill Bit Taylor. You remembered it. You referenced Noah Wilson.
I barely remember. I remember the name.
Yeah,
I remember Wilson was in it, but that's not the extent of it. I don't know.
He kind of became a bodyguard for high school kids. Is basically what the story was. They hired him to protect him. Yeah, the kids hired him to protect him. It kind of.
I didn't realize. I mean, I meant to do this.
You're right,
but
you just couldn't remember exactly.
Isaac Yankem was pretty much a bodyguard for.
Jerry Lawler.
So it really fits.
It does.
I did that on purpose.
And Drill Bit Taylor wasn't really a bodyguard, and Isaac Yankem's not really a dentist. So there's a lot of similarities, see?
Yeah, all the similarities
nice job.
are there.
He knocked it out of the park again.
Thank you. Let me do a Triple H bow.
To be regal. Yeah. To be regal. So I would say let's see what's next, but we know what's next. But we'll talk about what's next. I'm excited. It's Razor Sean 2. All right, so before we even talk about the next match, which you know what it is, here's a few little facts about this match. Originally, the plan was Shawn versus Sid for the Intercontinental title, which makes sense from everything we've seen these past few shows, but Vince decided that he needed, no pun intended, Vince decided he needed a showstopper for SummerSlam, and I mean, this was definitely a fucking showstopper, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Something else about this one was, and I know we saw it in the match, it's going to sound weird when I say it, but so Vince told Shawn and Razor that they couldn't use the ladder as a weapon. Because at this time there were a lot of lobbyist groups coming out complaining about violence on TV. So Vince had this new violence code in effect, where you had to tone things down. So Razor and Shawn literally stayed up all night figuring out how to do this match without upsetting Vince and without, improperly using the ladder. And Triple H actually helped them plan this match out. And it was great.
Yeah, it was a good match.
But yeah, Vince like, listen, you have a ladder, but you can't use it as a weapon. What the fuck are you talking about, Vince?
So
really, he didn't want.
That's why he kept on missing.
He was missing, and you notice every time the ladder really got involved, it was they were throwing each other into it, and that's Triple H was actually the one that said, "Hey," he said, "you can't hit each other with it. You can still throw each other into it, or jump off of it, or you know." And this, like always with fucking Shawn Michaels, was a great match.
Oh my gosh, so much pain.
Dude, I got so much stuff to say, I don't even know where to start on this one. And by the way, no matter who you're fighting, granted Mabel's in the fucking main event, but nobody should have to follow this. Like, no. This should have just been the main event. Like, do you think Diesel was like, are you fucking serious? Like, Sean, I like you, but I have to follow you in a ladder match?
Speaking of Psycho Sid, where he's not at this pay-per-view.
So you noticed you didn't notice they showed him backstage watching the ladder match?
Supposedly, I must have missed that.
It was only for a second. And they mentioned that he gets the title shot on Raw September 11th against the winner of this. But originally it was supposed to be Sid's match. Who knows if he was even backstage there? That could have been shot anywhere. They just showed him for 30 seconds watching a monitor. That could have been, could have took place anyway. One of the first most it was Fast and Furious right away. But one of the things I'm thinking of right away on the spot is when Razor went to knock the ladder over and Sean was on it, and when Sean came down, his fucking knee got trapped in the ladder.
Ugh. Actually, the first thing I thought of was was it a suplex outside where Sean's
that happened before
leg hits the steel barrier?
So,
man.
Sid hits up. Sean's trying to suplex Razor in. Razor suplex Sean's out, and you could tell it was a little off the timing. And Sean just Razor's so tall that you go to suplex another man, it's kind of hard to do it right and clear. It almost looked like he wanted to let him go a little bit sooner. Yeah, Sean's leg smacked right into that guardrail. And the whole match, there you go, the storytelling part was Sean's legs fucked up in a ladder match. How's he going to climb the ladder? And Razor just kept...
Or use his finisher, the sweet chin
That's the first thing I said was, shit, no sweet chin music, because Razor's just these guys had so much chemistry, you can tell.
Oh, they were great.
I have nothing to bitch about this match. Razor set Sean into the corner and he did his whip like he always does, but he cleared the corner. He didn't even hit the corner. He just fucking flipped and cleared that shit. That was intense. And what about when Razor, I always called it taking out the trash, but Razor did his, backwards slam off he had Sean up on the rope and he did that backwards, dump off.
Oh yeah,
I call it taking out the trash, but I don't know what he called it. I don't know if he called it that, but that was an amazing spot. Sean's leg was in between the ladder after he had that messed up fall, and Razor just kept pounding on the ladder, and the fans were divided. It had everything you want in a wrestling match. Oh, no, they were both faces, so when they came out, they both got pops. And there were a lot of powerful moves, and when Razor's just beating up on that leg, you see this small section that had to be buddies because they're all like, fuck yeah! And, break Sean's leg, do that shit.
Yeah, this was Razor, and I guess you can either look at it as a heel move or a smart wrestler type move. He saw that Shawn Michaels kept hurting his leg, so he kept going after him. Went after him because his finisher is the sweet chin music. Take away your opponent's biggest weapon. Take away his ability to climb. He kept going after it. It was smart storytelling. It was great within the match.
And a couple of times when Razor did those things you talk about that might have been considered a little bit dirty, he just shrugged his shoulders and was like,
he's like, hey,
but you brought this up before. That's why you like Razor was, and this happened a lot back then. They should let stuff happen organically today, and they don't very often, but Razor was a bad guy. Like you've said, he's the fucking bad guy.
He's the bad guy.
But the fans fell in love with him, so he was a face, but he still did dirty shit. He'd just be like, hey, Chico,
I'm the bad guy. Hey, I have to live up to my name.
From the streets of Miami, I grew up with Savio. I can't play around, man.
Oh, speaking of, there was no Savio.
There was no Savio.
No Savio Vega.
He must have been busy washing cars in the parking lot or something. I don't know. I'm sure he was there, but...
Hey, if we replace Savio for fucking Hunter Helmsley, I guess I'm
okay with that.
I'm down with it.
Oh, the other spot, right? These guys, there's so many spots. You need to go watch. If you don't watch these along with us, that's your choice. And you don't have to, but if you go back and watch this match, if you watch nothing else from this SummerSlam, watch this ladder.
Oh no, the first match was pretty good too.
It was actually.
If you're going to watch two matches,
I watched
the first
X-Pac
match.
and Hakushi, and then watch this. But when they were both up there at one point, and they were punching each other back and forth, and I think a headbutt was thrown, and the ladder starts going. And Razor just like that landing Razor took didn't look good. Sean got sacked.
There were so many landings that looked, and it's not that they didn't look good. They looked like, oh my gosh, he's really hurt.
Yeah, like Razor didn't get sacked.
He wasn't, but
he hit like his kneecap on the rope and ended up falling outside. Like, ouch. Razor had a few. Look, Razor was tall, and I think that's a couple of these spots. It was just he's so fucking tall that if you don't do something just right, because some of this stuff, ouch.
Yeah.
A couple of times.
This was a master class. This was a master class. This is how you put on a show.
And we're smarter now, and we know how things work. But I guarantee you, when I watched it back then, and even now, you bought that Sean's knee was fucked up, and that's what it's about.
He sold it.
He sold it.
He sold it. He kept on limping in the ring.
You know how to tell a story.
Absolutely.
They don't work on body parts anymore. It's old school, but it makes sense. Like you just said, how fucking
it tells a story.
First of all, it's logical because it's a ladder match. Right off the bat, but then you got Sean's kick, like you said.
Take away their weapon.
Take
away your weapon. Yeah. No, this was a fantastic match. This was amazing.
It was, and the fact that they couldn't do as much, because they are different. If you watch the one from WrestleMania 10, they are different. But the fact that they came up with this stuff, Sean did a fucking backflip off the ladder onto Razor. And Razor was still standing, and then he climbed all the way to the top of the ladder and was going to do a body splash, and Razor fucking moved.
And he missed.
And over here, so he's getting ready to do this body splash, and he did like the little cross gesture, like, fuck, please save me. But he's like, I didn't even think he was religious yet. And he wasn't, but he's like, oh fuck, that was impressive. See, I think younger people would be like, because every week you see people doing it off way higher, whatever. Right. This is a different time. This is 1995, okay? Not everybody's fucking doing dives off the balconies and whatever every match. This is how you do it. This should just end right now. Right now. This should be the main event. Even after the match, it looked like Razor showed a little bit of maybe he's going to heel turn after Sean won, but he didn't. He ended up shaking his hands. That shit was great, too. I think Sean had some trouble at the end. I think.
Yeah, it was
he was getting really fucking mad.
He kept missing the damn belt.
First of all,
and we're not entirely sure if that was meant to happen.
I don't think the second time was
no. I don't think the second time.
The first time both ladders were up there, and Sean managed to knock Razor's ladder over and knock him down. And then
no, he gave him a super kick.
Oh yeah, he super kicked him.
It was a sweet chin music from ladder to ladder.
From ladder to ladder, that knocked Razor off and the ladder, and then Sean for some reason thought he'd just jump and try to grab the belt instead of because his ladder was off center and he missed.
Yeah.
Then he backdrops Razor out of the ring when Razor goes for a Razor's Edge, has all the time in the world, sets the ladder up, gets up there, tries to grab it, fucking misses and falls. And he gets up really pissed off.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll show this ladder who just balls. Yeah, so I don't think he was supposed to miss that one, because like you said, Razor had plenty of time that he could have got back in there.
Yeah, I think the second time he missed it was not on purpose.
Fuck.
I think he was supposed to do a spot where he jumped up there, caught it in midair, and fell down with the belt. Yeah. And I think he screwed it up. And he's like, son of a bitch, I'm just going up and grabbing it.
I missed my spot.
I missed my spot.
Oh, and for all you ladies out there, we didn't get one last pay-per-view, but it was a full moon this time.
Well, they didn't show it on here.
No, we didn't see
Only
it.
the people in 95 who was at the show.
You knew that's what was going, though, by the hooting and hollering, and you could see Sean's
as soon as you heard people, woo!
And by the way, that shows you they didn't show that camera angle, because this week we are not watching Peacock. We are actually watching the actual disc, the Blu-ray.
Yep.
So this is not Peacock. And I also, by the way, find this hilarious. So we're watching the Blu-ray, and they still have the WWF logo everywhere, the legit one.
Yeah.
But they're blurring out guys saying the F.
They're cutting the mic right
for
when
the
they
F,
say F. They're getting the F out of the...
Yeah, they can show the logo, and they're not blurring that. But when you say WWF, it's just WWF. Yeah. Like we're listening
to They also cut out whenever they were talking about the phone numbers to buy shirts and stuff.
Because I forgot to mention Barry's here again. And if y'all don't remember Barry, he's the merchandise pusher on the pay-per-views. I don't remember this guy at all. But yeah, you're right. They were blurring out him giving out the phone numbers too. Which, you don't want people dialing those. They might be, somebody else might be using them now. You never know.
Right.
Have you ever tried to do that? Have you ever seen one of these old phone numbers and been like, I'm going to try to call it and see what happens, just to see what it does? I've never done that. Maybe you should try it sometime.
Never have. Well, they didn't give us the number.
They didn't on this one. They didn't.
We can't try it.
That's something new too that we haven't seen.
They're probably worried that
that's a Blu-ray. I guess is part of the
They probably are worried that kids are going to call that number and it's like now a porn.
Thank you for calling the Sunny Hotline.
Give me 99 cents a minute and I will tell you everything.
We're calling Sunny. It's like,
yeah, it's Sunny.
Press 1 for poo.
No, that's a 2.
Oh, 1. Yeah, press 1 for a golden shower.
Oh.
Press 2 for poo.
2 is for poo.
2 is for poo.
Number 2.
Oh my gosh. Sunny is not sponsoring the show, by the way. Or her OnlyFans, just so we're clear.
I'm sure she's not, because I don't think anything we're saying is very positive for Sunny.
What? Because she pooed? Everybody knows it. It's
everybody,
a
everybody poos.
Yes, they do. Even when it's the wrong time.
Even you and you and you.
Sunny too.
Sunny too.
That's Bruce Pritchard's fault, by the way. He's the first one that ever told that story. That's where I heard it. So you can blame Brother Love for talking about Sunny Poo.
Oh, fucking Brother
Love. Because he started that. All right. So, any more about this match, though? I don't even know if we could talk about every spot. Rank it. Give it a ranking.
Yeah, we got to give it a ranking.
I know there was so much. I don't know, man. I kind of want to go all the way, and I haven't done that on this show. I'm so close to, but it's not as good as the first one. But that doesn't really matter. We're talking.
I'm debating like.
It's so close to being a 5.
I was debating on a 5.
Yeah.
There is some botches. Like I said, I'm pretty sure the missing of the belt.
Trying to get it kind of made it better.
But at the same time, he sold it.
Yeah, he saw it.
Fuck it, I'm going 5. 5.
Maybe for the first time ever, right? Me too.
Yeah.
I think it deserves it. There's no reason it doesn't deserve 5 stars. By the way, a 30-minute match that didn't seem like it. That also tells you it's a good match. If you're not bored... Were you bored one time?
Oh, hell no.
Young kids.
No.
Guess what we didn't see? A fucking 15-minute sleeper hold. And there's no way...
So they could rest.
And there's no way these shots and shit they were taking. If anybody needed a sleeper hold rest, it was these two guys. And they kept fucking going.
No, they sold the shit out of it.
Like, 5 stars. We don't have any goofy thing, but I've never given 5 stars on any match, but... I didn't get to see the first one with you either, but this is definitely 5 stars, and I feel sorry for Diesel and Mabel, but we have to watch it.
Yeah, and I'd like to go through and see how many 5 stars I've given.
That would be interesting. I can't remember either. I mean, I've listened to all the episodes, but I can't.
I have like 60 episodes, so...
I know. It's like you can't just go to the end either. Like, you have to check every match.
I have to listen to every match.
Where's that assistant when you need him? Come here for a minute.
Yeah, I need someone to go through all these.
We need you to archive.
We want to know... I can only think that the Macho Man Randy Savage versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat from WrestleMania 3, I feel I probably definitely gave that a 5. I'm not sure.
I think you both did, but I don't know if there were many 5s after
But I'm not sure other than that.
Because look, Rage was tough. Rage was tough, man. It was hard to get, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that, but... Yeah, I don't think there were too many 5 stars, but this one deserves it for sure. And I feel bad for Diesel and Mabel. Like, do you think, like, Mabel, fuck him because he's in the back probably thinking, I'm about to be the main event. But Diesel, do you think when they went through the curtain, he was like, really, Sean? Fuck both you guys. What are you doing to me? You know I'm working with fucking Mabel, right?
He's like, son of a bitch.
I gotta follow that shit.
You also noticed that the 2 best matches from this pay-per-view, 3 of them are part of the Clique, or will be.
What a coincidence, right?
Yeah, Shawn Michaels,
Sean Waltman,
Scott
Hall,
1, 2, 3 Kid.
Yeah.
Diesel's like, and I get fucking Mabel.
Fucking steroid trial. Damn it.
Well, another good one was Triple H under her sound lead.
Yeah, it was. I mean, that was just to showcase him, but there wasn't that many bad ones, and we'll have to pick one of those later, but I bet I know what it's going to be.
Oh, I know exactly which one. I gave it 0.
Are we about to show? You did.
I don't think there's a...
You did, but we haven't watched the main event yet.
I don't see it being a 0, but let's get to this main event.
All right, before the main event, we get Dean Douglas in the back again, and this time he's trying to talk about Razor's match and talk about what Razor did wrong or whatever, and next thing you know, Razor shows up and whoops his ass. He's like, all you do is talk, Chico. I'll beat your ass. So that wasn't too bad. That was a nice little... And then we get our main event. Now listen, Jesus, dude. So Mabel comes out first. Like, would you want to be one of the guys carrying him out there?
No.
And there were only 4 guys. Carrying a 600-pound man on that throne or whatever.
Yeah, that.
And the one guy in the front looked like
the guys are probably like, "Hey, next time we have a King of the Ring, can you please have someone not like double all of our size?"
It's like, I know they were big guys, but come on, Mabel don't need to be carried. The only other king I remember, Macho Man used to get carried like that, but he was the fucking Macho Man. He didn't weigh 600 pounds.
Yeah.
Haku used to get carried, also didn't weigh 600 pounds. So I already feel bad, like the losers of the night are the guys that had to carry Mabel out there. I'm just saying.
That's fair.
Then Diesel comes out to his big pop, and surprisingly, except when we get to the weird end, this match wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. Probably Mabel's best match to this point.
That's because of Diesel.
Diesel, yeah.
Diesel did a lot of interesting things up until, well, we'll get to it.
Oh my gosh. He even did, one spot he even did a dive outside, and I think that's like the second time we've seen Diesel dive like that. And he's a big guy to be doing that, that's not a normal thing.
Right.
But we were watching this match, and I read, that before this match even took place, Diesel's elbow was still recovering. Apparently this elbow injury was a bad thing. So he's still recovering from that. He's having some back issues. And then Mabel decides to make the back issues worse.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel if I wouldn't have told you that, you would have noticed in that spot, because maybe not totally, but he kind of stayed, and it was a little weird.
He stayed on top of him for a while.
And it was a little awkward, yeah. So Mabel set on Nash, apparently full-fledged set on him, and Diesel said later on that he couldn't feel his legs for about a minute after Mabel set on him. And the ending was weird, and I'm wondering if the ending got changed because of the pain that Diesel was in, because it was kind of a lame finish. But before we even got that far, fucking Mabel plowed the referee out of the match.
Yeah, it was weird. He just went
literally
full steam, just ran into him.
Fuck you, Earl.
And it wasn't like, a lot of times they do that, is like, oh, someone ducks and they run into the ref. No, he just runs right into the ref.
Him over and
He's like,
didn't see it coming.
Terrible ring presence to know where the ref is, and he just rushes into him.
And then...
And he gets not in trouble, and he doesn't get
because then Lex Luger comes out.
And this was weird, too.
So all night they were talking about, Bulldog had just turned on everybody, I guess, and was helping Mabel, on a Raw before or whatever. So they talked about, could Luger be involved in it, too? Diesel wasn't waiting to find out.
Oh, okay. That makes that end
we're not watching the Raws, which would help, right?
That makes the end make a little more sense.
Bulldog
I didn't realize Bulldog turned.
Yeah.
So but didn't necessarily turn on Luger, so they didn't know.
So they didn't know what Luger's intentions were.
He just turned heel, but it was like, well, they're a tag, so.
So the ref's out, and Diesel's getting double teamed, and here comes Luger, and as soon as Diesel sees him, he fucking whoops his ass.
He's like, I ain't playing this game. I ain't playing this game.
But yes, that would be the reason why, because the Raw right before this, Bulldog helped Mabel attack Diesel or whatever, so they were worried about it, but it was still kind of weird.
So since so he was directly involved with British Bulldog's heel turn.
Yes.
So for all he knew, Luger was part of it, now is trying to help Mabel win the title. Okay. That makes a lot more sense with context.
And hey, after he got back up
during the match, it was just weird. Why the fuck are you? I thought maybe they were trying to do something well, he's just so out of it, he doesn't realize.
And that's kind of what it seemed like. He acted like he didn't even know who the fuck it was, and he didn't care.
Yeah,
he was like, "I'm just taking a bow. I don't even care."
Right.
It was a little weird. And then Luger got back up finally, and then he started helping him anyways. I know you kicked my ass, but I'm gonna.
It was like no hard feelings. I get it. My teammate,
it happened.
My teammate was a douche, so
you didn't know,
free pass. That's cool. I'm still gonna take out.
Still had on them damn stars and stripes.
Yeah.
By the way, this is Luger's last appearance before he jumps.
So he shows up and
last pay-per-view appearance. Yeah, he jumped ship here soon after. So
okay.
It's time to go over there to WCW again.
WCW.
Go back home. I mean, to be fair, he goes back and he gets to get into it with Hulk Hogan right away. So and he doesn't have to be patriotic.
So he gets to go there and be the person he was supposed to. He was supposed to be in WWE.
Yeah. Yep. Good stuff, right?
Right.
I mean, whatever. So yeah, that was that. And so I talked about this with this spot, right? And after the match, Diesel was pissed about Mabel's little backsplash and fucking him up. So apparently when they got in the back, they were really going at it, like fighting back and forth. And Nash apparently asked Mabel, "What the fuck were you doing?" was his exact words. So Vince heard this, and this is from Diesel himself. Vince was going to fire Mabel on the spot.
Oh, wow.
Immediately, and Diesel talked Vince out of it.
He's like, I'm pissed.
So my question is, Kevin Nash, what the fuck were you doing? Saving Mabel's job.
Well,
no, but I get it. He was like, Vince, I was angry.
He's like,
accidents happen. You know, but yeah, Vince was going to fire him.
I let my rage, my anger out a little bit, but that doesn't mean I want to see the guy lose his job.
Because from Vince's perspective, he may not even known it was botched, and so he just comes back and here's his star, saying to Mabel, "What the fuck, dude? Like, you're reckless. What are you doing?" You know. So yeah, he saved his job. So that's pretty cool of Diesel.
Yeah, that is cool
to say that, because some people, brother, would have got him out of there. Yeah, I'm just saying. I know how that game works. He's got to go. He's got to go, brother.
I feel like with Hulk Hogan, it was he botched something, and then
the other guy still got to go.
The other guy got fired.
I'm not feeling it, brother. He's got to go. And then we're going to get Brutus a job. That's a whole other. Okay, Brutus the Beefcake. So not bad. Not what I expected. Sorry, Bertha, because your match was way worse than this one. It was actually better than I expected, and I guess because of that, I don't know. I'm going to give it 2.5 fucked up Mabel moves.
I'm going to give it 2.5. Nobody likes you, Luger. That's why you get attacked by Diesel. Nobody likes you.
It was just...
Even when you're helping them.
Just go back and watch the whole pay-per-view, because I'm like, you should watch this match too, just to see that, because it was so fast. Was like, weird. Diesel didn't know who gave it. He's just like, fuck it, I'm taking everybody out. But then he noticed it was Luger and beat his ass more, so you're just like, what's going on? I don't know what the fuck, but it's entertaining, whatever. So, it is what it is. Overall, though,
yeah, no,
not a bad show.
2.5. It's about average. It wasn't. I guess it's terrible for a main event, especially when the main event.
It wouldn't even have got a 2.5 because I thought it was going to be worse. Like, it got that because it wasn't as bad of a Mabel match as it could have been, and to consider what they had to follow.
Oh yeah,
it was mediocre, but compared to what they had to follow, they didn't do bad. And considering Diesel was pissed and hurt.
Oh, yeah.
But the finish was weird. I don't even remember what he did, like a sidewalk slam.
It was like a
shoulder
shoulder block.
It was really weird, yeah. But there was no jackknifing after that. Or
I don't think he was jackknifing. Maybe
I don't think he could have even choke slammed them. I don't think, probably because of the back. So they were just like, yeah, there you go, boom! I knocked you down.
He could have done the big boot. That was something Diesel does.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't do that.
I think he just wanted it fucking over. I don't. It's like, let's just end this.
Yeah, let's just get this out of here.
Fucking, what are you doing, Luger? Jesus Christ, what's going on?
All right. Well, then I think you know what's next.
We got some matches to pick.
Favorite match of the night.
My favorite match of the night. I think we're going to agree on both of these. I got a feeling, but hands down, easy Razor Shawn. There's not even a.
There was a slight glimmer of possibility that the first one was, but yeah, Razor Shawn. Yeah. It's definitely Razor Shawn.
I can see that though, because you would almost pick that first one because you didn't expect it, because it was fucking 1, 2, 3 getting Hakushi.
Yeah, when I heard about Hakushi, I was like, "Fuck!"
But that was
it's already a bad. Yeah. But
sorry, Sean.
Majorly. If we're going by expectations to, and I guess Shawn Razor, I don't know if it exceeded expectations. It was just. As good as I expected.
Yeah,
I was expecting
it was the complete
to be good.
Package.
It was a great match, and I expected it. But I expected it. It's like I was hyped for that match regardless.
So was
the whole time, and it I don't know if it exceeded, but it definitely met expectations. It might have exceeded a little.
I think it exceeded mine a little, because anytime I see a match that's going to be a long amount of length, it didn't seem like a 30-minute match. It wasn't quite 25.
Yeah,
but it didn't seem like it.
But the level expectation I had for Hakushi and 1, 2, 3 Kid, compared to
this,
yeah, it majorly exceeded expectations.
Even though I remember just fairly, I didn't remember it, but I remember saying Hakushi 1, 2, 3 Kid, this could be good. And it was. But
I don't know. For me, it was like this could be the worst match of the night.
And it was.
It could, but it wasn't. And not at all. It was. It's probably the highest match we've done. Besides Sean and Razor. We haven't given, I don't think, any 4.5 since we started doing this.
Probably
together.
not, because I'm kind of like, it's hard to get them out of me. I know it.
Yeah, well, it's both of us, but
both of us really. There have been a lot of 4s. We had our first 5.
This is a long way to say this is the
best match of the night.
Best match of the night. Sean and Razor.
Sean and Razor.
All right. Worst match of the night.
Well, this is going to be easy too. I'm not going to waste a lot of time talking about it either. It's Bertha Faye and All Under Blaze is the worst fucking match of the night.
Absolutely. Hands down. It's the first, I'm almost positive through this entire show where we've watched about 60, well, we haven't watched 60 pay-per-views because we were doing a lot of part 1, part 2s.
But still.
But out of all these shows that I have reviewed, this is definitely one of the worst things I've ever seen is Blaze versus, it was bad.
Bertha Faye, yeah.
Bertha Faye.
And I don't know if I ever recall it 0 in any of your episodes.
I don't think I've ever done a 0.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I've
joked a few times about do we go negative.
We've joked, but then we still gave them like a 0.5 or something. But
and you threw me off a little. You're like 0 and I'm not even naming it. 0,
I'm not even
nothing.
naming it. It didn't deserve it.
And I gave him a half just for Harvey Whippleman followed.
It was that wasn't enough for
me. It wasn't enough.
It's one blip on the radar of shit.
Yeah, that's enough time for Bertha though. If you want to hear the rest of our rant about that match, go back and listen to the segment.
Right. All right.
SummerSlam rankings.
All right, so here we go. Try not to confuse myself on these rankings, but I do got them, and I guess I just instantly changed it because I've made this one number 1. So I'm starting with my favorite, going to least favorite. So This SummerSlam is now my favorite, and then I have SummerSlam 5 at number 2, SummerSlam 6 at number 3. I got SummerSlam 3 at number 4. I got SummerSlam 4 at 5. I got SummerSlam 2 at 6. I got SummerSlam 94 at 7. And the original SummerSlam is still the worst, but that Undertaker versus Undertaker almost took that spot. So there's my SummerSlam rankings.
So my rankings is going to be, SummerSlam 8. I think this is the best one. I'll start. I'm just, no dramatic pause. No
dramatic pause.
No drama. 8 is the best one we've watched. When you have one with a 5-star match
it's kind
and
of hard
one
with
a 4.5 star match, that's a lot of good. And then we had some other good stuff, and we had some really. And in fairness, this also had a 0-point match. So, I mean, it was.
The overall was good though.
Other than that, it was a very good SummerSlam and definitely the best one we've watched. So after that, I have SummerSlam 5, 6, 3, 4, 7, 2, and then 1.
So that, kind of similar. I just threw 7 down a little lower, but gosh, that fake Undertaker really.
Yeah, no. 7 was bad, but
yeah.
But I do remember SummerSlam 7 was also where we got Leslie Nielsen, and I loved seeing Leslie Nielsen.
Fair enough.
Other than that
was the highlight of that.
I think that's why it went over 2 for me.
Yeah, I can't argue that.
Because I do love me some Leslie Nielsen. But yeah, that's our rankings.
Good stuff. So I guess it's time to plug some pluggables.
Plug the pluggables.
Plug those pluggables, Blaze.
All right. Well, you can find me on Dragon Blazer Productions on the Facebook, the Instagram, the YouTube, and also the TikToks now.
The TikToks.
And you can also find me on Dragon Blazer Pro on whatever.
The Twitters, right?
The Twitters.
Because they won't let you spell out production.
Yeah,
so you got to be Twitters. Pro on the Twitters.
I completely lost track of where I was.
It threw them off because we were recording so early today. It threw them off.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
And you can find our show on that great Facebook page, the Boomer and Blaze Show Facebook page, and then you can find us on Instagram and on the Twitters at boomer_blaze. And then if you'd like to contact the show in another way besides the page, you can hit us up at boomerandblazeshow@gmail.com. And I think we've covered it all. You got anything else this week, Blaze?
No, but I was pleasantly surprised by this SummerSlam.
Yeah, good job. Good
I thought this was a really good
Blew
one.
WrestleMania 11 out of the water.
Which is crazy because this is SummerSlam 95, and 95 has not given us the greatest stuff sometimes.
Definitely the best big pay-per-view of the year so far.
But we're starting to get some new people.
We are.
We're starting to get new people. We're getting Triple
right around
H.
from the Attitude Era.
We just got
Kane.
Just
not there yet, but
just not Kane.
But yeah.
But yeah, we got Kane. So yeah, we've gotten a lot of good. So I think we're starting to get
exciting times.
Good shit. Stuff. We're starting to get good shit.
And next week we will be on In Your House 3. So we got another In Your House.
Another In Your House.
Coming
and then another In Your House.
Yep. And then Survivor Series.
And then Survivor Series.
And then another In Your House. And then the Royal Rumble. So we're right around the corner. I know you can't wait for 96. Neither can I keep saying it, but I can't wait till next SummerSlam because that's the one I was at. SummerSlam 96, I was there. If we feel like straightening our eyes enough, we'll probably be able to see me in the audience. We'll see how that goes. But
how close were you?
I was in the first row of seats, not on the floor. So the first actual set of arena seats. So I was pretty close.
And you remember where you were?
Oh yeah, I remember exactly where I was.
You can show me where you might have been?
My sister was there too. So.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Good times.
I didn't get invited to this.
No, I don't know why.
Were we still siblings
Many
at the
years
time?
ago. Well, I was 16 at the time, so yeah, we should have been right.
We should have been?
Yeah. Who knows? You can hate me later.
I will. I'll hate you now.
Oh, okay. Hate me now, whatever. Anyway, guess that'll do it. While Blaze yells at me, I'm going to get out of the studio before someone attacks me. He could have his assistants take me out. So for now, this has been the Boomer and Blaze Show. I am Boomer.
And I'm Blaze. And good night from Dragon Blazer Studios. Boop, boop.
Normally I don't do this, but I'm gonna hit y'all off with a little taste of the remix. Y'all ready? Here we go. I pick you up from the club, take you home to make some love. Got a surprise, close your eyes, I'm gonna cover you in suds. I'm gonna give you some poo-poo, I'm gonna give you some pee-pee, I'm gonna give you some doo-doo, and wash it down with some wee-wee. This is the remix edition of a song about pissing. I got the pee and leaking, and there's juice in the kitchen. Yeah, that's how it goes at the R. Kelly party. I sip Chris, you drink piss. This on your remix, you heard? No, I'm serious. I really do want to piss on you.
Hey everyone, this is Blaze from the Ragin' Blaze and the Boomer and Blaze Show. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe for more wrestling content.